World-Defying Dan God Chapter 4641, Red Devil Lei Zun. Kalian and Chuangdao sages are desperately digging blood crystals. They all want to quickly break through the domain of the blood crystal giant mountain, because they are very afraid of the red power of creation, for fear that they will be swallowed by the red power of creation. Especially when they are on the giant blood crystal mountain at this time, they can feel the terrible red power of creation even more. Senior, are you okay? Chen Shang asked, seeing the painful expression on the sage of Chuangdao. He is now sitting on the Six Gods Mirror, absorbing the blood crystals to strengthen the Six Gods Mirror and the Proud God Furnace. I'm fine, I can hold on. Chuangdao sage closed his eyes for a moment, and then said, he seemed to be enduring something. Senior, do you feel the call of the red power of creation? Kalian, who was not far away, threw a large blood crystal to the six divine mirrors, and then asked. Yes, I'm trying to resist that kind of ghost. Chuangdao sage said, trust me, it will definitely be able to stop it. No wonder he sticks the protective gear made by Chen Shang on his head. It turns out that he has been tempted by the red power of creation. As the things I refined useless. Shouldn't it? Chen Shang frowned. Useful and useful. If it weren't for you, I would have been defeated. Chuangdao sage sighed. No way, I have a strong creative power in my body. My soul and body have been in force for so many years. They all grew up because of the power of creation. This is my own demon. Because Leonor has practiced Tian Muanshiju, her body is not what she used to be, and her soul has split many times, so she has been affected very little. Chuangdao Shengxian went on to explain. Kalian's current body was refined by Chen Shang, and when she was in the soul state of Amethyst Lotus before, she absorbed the soul energy refined by Chen Shang to enhance her soul. So the creative power she gained back then has become very thin now. The creative sages are different. He received a lot of creative power in the past, and these creative powers have not diminished even a bit over the years. In other words, the creation power in his body now also very much wants to absorb the red creation power, that's why he led him to have such a strong idea. Chen Shang probably understands the problem. The creative power absorbed by the creative sages is being bewitched by the red creative power. In other words, they also want to devour the red creative power, so it is difficult for the creative sages to resist the temptation. At this time, the sage of creation was on the giant blood crystal mountain, very close to the red creation power, which made him suffer. Senior, please bear with me. Chen Shang said, with me, you don't have to worry. I just hope I can leave this ghost place soon. Chuangdao sage sighed, then silently endured, and continued to work. Chen Shang, we have been digging here for a long time, but there is no red creativity coming out. Why is this? Kalian was very curious. It may take time to condense the red creative power. Chen Shang said. The sages of Yishan and the others have drifted a lot, and in order to deal with you, dozens of groups have floated out. In a short time, it should not be possible to condense again. Come out. That's for sure, the power of creation is also limited. If it is released and swallowed by you, it is equivalent to a loss in vain. Chuangdao sage said. Like the sage of Yishan, who has absorbed the red power of creation, it is affirmative. Will be controlled and will do things for this mountain. Could it be that this blood crystal giant mountain is conscious? Chen Shang was shocked. This is in trouble. Our plan, won't it be clear? I don't know, I'm just guessing. Although the Chuangdao sage endured uncomfortably, he still worked hard to dig out blood crystals. Because he hopes to get more blood crystals so that Chen Shang can help him refine a suit of clothes to wear. Now he just posted some golden pieces on his body, and it has a good effect. If he makes a suit of clothes for him, it will definitely make him completely block the temptation of red creativity. Boom! In the distance, there was a loud noise from the sage Yishan and the others. Chen Shang and the others looked over. I saw that a red air mass burst open, and a burly man with red skin flew out of it. It's Lei Zun of the Red Devil. This has absorbed the red power of creation and is now stronger. Chuangdao sage exclaimed, Chen Shang, are you going to get it done? We have to leave this ghost place quickly. The Red Devil Lei Zun is indeed very terrifying, even if they are separated by a certain distance, he can feel his terrifying sense of oppression. Almost. Chen Shang frowned. You come up first. It will be safer by my side. At the last time, Kalian and Chuangdao sages blasted out a lot of huge blood crystal fragments, so that the 6 magic mirrors were transferred into the mirror, and then they quickly jumped on the 6 magic mirrors. The Red Devil Lei Zun had already come over. He seemed to know what had happened as soon as he left the barrier, and then rushed over immediately. Ha ha ha, Heavenly Mother sages and creative sages, you didn't even absorb the power of creation, you are really idiots. Lei Zun of the Red Devil laughed wildly. Red Devil, after you absorb that kind of power of creation, even if you become stronger, you are just a puppet. Kalian sneered, you are the real idiot. The Kalian at this time has transformed into the personality of Emperor Lian. Red Devil, is that kind of power of creation controlling your soul? Asked the Chuangdao sage. You two idiots, you all think too much, and there is no power to control us. Ha ha ha, this is a gift from another day. Red Devil Lei Zun laughed and said, what kind of asterisk is in the world, what asterisk is falling into the forest, it makes another day very uncomfortable, so another day makes us stronger, let us destroy these asterisk stuff. Are you sure it was another day that asked you to do it? Chuangdao sage asked loudly with a solemn expression. The sage Yishan came from another sky, and he knows this very well. Red Devil Lei Zun sneered. Creative power is the power that comes from another sky. The other sky must influence the Aoshi universe through the power of creation, and make the Aoshi universe a different world. Part of the sky. Then the universe Shanhai, why was it destroyed? Kalian asked. The universe Divine Sea has not been destroyed, but has been restarted. If you don't understand it, if you want to know, you will absorb the red power of creation, and then join us. After the Red Devil Lei Zun finished speaking, he waved his hand and evoked two groups of red creation power. He grinned and said, this is what I left after eating. I can't absorb it anymore, so I will give it to you. With that said, he pushed those two red creation forces over. The sage of Chuangdao was immediately itchy. Fortunately, he was on Shen Zhang's 6 Dao mirror. Chen Shang patted him on the shoulder, which made him sober. You are the shit, Chen Shang shouted to the Red Devil Lei Zun, and then the 6 divine mirrors flashed with strong golden light. Chen Shang purified a large amount of golden powder from the blood crystal. This was something that suppressed the red power of creation, and a large amount was absorbed by the 6 magic mirrors. The golden light emitted by the 6 divine mirrors was released through that golden powder, so after this burst of golden light, the Red Devil Thunder Venerable's body seemed to be burned, and immediately retreated and flew far away. Let's go. Chen Shang controlled the 6 divine mirrors to fly, dragging a long golden light tail, and flying into the distance. World Defying Dan God Chapter 4642, Scarlet Chase. The Red Devil Lei Zun looked terrible now. After his body was burned by the golden light, his skin looked like red mud. He roared angrily, that hoarse roar was full of ferocity. Although Chen Shang could beat the Red Devil Thunder Zun back at once, he knew very well that with the power they now possessed, they weren't the Red Devil Thunder Zun's opponent at all. The Red Devil Lei Zun's body is very powerful, and Chen Shang tried it out just now. The golden light erupted from the 6 divine mirrors only destroyed the skin on the surface of the Red Devil Lei Zun. The Red Devil Lei Zun absorbed the red power of creation, and his resilience was amazing. At this moment, he was flying in the air, chasing Chen Shang and them, but after flying out, his skin quickly regenerated. We must break through this field. The creative sage was actually praying, because he could feel the horror of the red power of creation after being in close contact with the Red Devil Lei Zun just now. What kind of price do they have to pay for absorbing the red power of creation? Kalian looked at the Red Devil Lei Zun who was chasing from behind, feeling very scared in her heart. If Chen Shang hadn't beaten the Red Devil Lei Zun back, they would most likely be severely injured in an instant. Don't try to escape, you can't get out of this realm. Lei Zun the Red Devil grinned and said, you are dead, ha ha ha. Chen Shang gritted his teeth, because the front is the boundary of the domain. If the 6 magic mirrors can't fly out, then they really can't fly out. The 6 divine mirrors began to emit golden light, and the little mirror's sister was controlling the 6 divine mirrors to gather power, preparing to break through the domain of the blood crystal giant mountain. Sister Jing, can you make it? Chen Shang was already ready to fight Red Devil Lei Zun desperately. If the 6 magic mirrors cannot break through the realm, there will only be a **** battle, and try to buy time as much as possible. No problem, Sister Xiaojing was very confident. Sitting on the 6 mirrors of Shen Shang and others, they looked at the scenes on both sides, and they all began to fluctuate, as if they had entered a spatial channel. The 6 magic mirrors are breaking through the realm. Not to mention that the domain of the blood crystal giant mountain is very powerful, and there is also the power of space barriers, so now that you fly out, you must break through a layer of space channels. The 6 divine mirrors also became very hot at this moment, and Chen Shang and the others had to stand up to resist the intense heat of the 6 divine mirrors. Even the powerful sages of Chuangdao and the others can't stand the intense heat radiated by the 6 paths of the mirror. That guy is gone, Kalian said, looking at the rear. Couldn't they leave that realm? Chuangdao sage smiled. If this is the case, then we are out of danger. After the 6 magic mirrors flew for a while, the golden light on the surface gradually dimmed, and no longer heated. We are out, Chen Shang said, but it's not safe yet. After leaving the area of the blood crystal giant mountain, they can still see the blood crystal giant mountain, and above the giant mountain, there is a large group of thick red clouds, accompanied by ****** lightning. What will this ghost place become? After the founding sage entered the southern fallen forest, he was hit harder, because many things in the southern fallen forest were beyond his knowledge. He was originally the oldest of the 4 great sages. Although he was downcast later, he was able to come out of the ancient demon prisoner in the Heavenly Mother's sacred desolation, and he was considered to have certain strength. But after entering the southern fallen forest, he couldn't help but encounter the bulging people. The 6 divine mirrors are facing forward, and they are all looking at the huge mountain of blood crystals behind. It's safe. The sage of Chuangdao saw the blood crystal giant mountain gradually turning into red dots, indicating that the distance was far away, and finally heaved a sigh of relief. No, Kalian suddenly shouted, look at that. In the direction of the blood crystal giant mountain, a cloud of red mist was rushing over. Damn it. After Chen Shang saw it, he cursed in a low voice, and then immediately contacted Sister Xiaojing to speed up the speed of the 6 magic mirrors. The most terrifying thing is that there is more than 1 red air mass, and there are more after that, there are dozens of them in total. Yes, is it the red power of creation? The creative sage asked. It's the red devil Lei Zun. These guys use the energy of the red creative power to speed up their flight. Kalian said. Hearing Kalian's words, Chen Shang immediately took out the proud god furnace. After Chen Shang extracted the golden powder from the blood crystals, he strengthened the proud god furnace, and now it can suppress the dozens of red creation powers. He is now going to refine the red power of creation through the god furnace, purify the power of the red world, and then send it to the 6 magic mirrors so that the speed of the 6 magic mirrors will speed up. The energy consumed by the 6 gods' mirrors now comes from the cursed spirit that was refined into liquid by Chen Shang before, and it is also the power of creation. If this continues, those creative powers will definitely be consumed. Chen Shang, what are you doing? Do you have any powerful big tricks that you haven't released? Chuangdao sages are not afraid of anything, just afraid of the red power of creation. He is very worried that he will be forced to integrate the red power of creation, and he will definitely become a slave by then. No, I'm getting the red power of creation before refining. Chen Shang said. 6 mirrors need more energy, otherwise you can't get rid of those guys. This speed is the ultimate, right? Whether it is us or the red devil Lei Zun, in this environment, the speed has reached the limit, and it is no longer the fastest. Kalian said. Yes, so I need more energy to make space jumps. Chen Shang said solemnly, only in this way can I quickly get rid of them. You know, the space of the southern fallen forest is very solid, even the space communication talisman cannot be used, let alone the space jump. However, Kalian and Chuangdao sages think that Chen Shang can do it because he is Chen Shang. Then you can rest assured to do it, we will help you block it. Kalian said. The distance between the red devil Lei Zun and the 6 god mirrors is not too far, within their attack range. In this kind of high-speed flight, if the 6 magic mirrors dodge, it will affect the speed, and then the distance will be shortened. Therefore, Kalian and Chuangdao sages must ensure that the 6 magic mirrors can keep flying at a steady speed. Sure enough, the red devil Lei Zun and the others began to attack, sending out red lightning, or red air masses. Kalian and Chuangdao sages teamed up to release a very powerful shield, like a wall of light, suspended and erected behind the 6 mirrors, blocking all the first wave of attacks. Be careful, Chen Shang suddenly shouted. They attacked, not just energy, but something else. Just after Chen Shang finished speaking, a large number of blood crystals burning with red flames shot quickly. World Defying Dan God Chapter 4643, Divine Power. This is obviously the blood crystal knocked down from the blood crystal giant mountain. It seems that the sages of Yishan and the others have some way to condense the energy inside the blood crystal and urge the blood crystal to fly out quickly. Return me. Chen Shang took out the Baihu Jingyu fan, and swept a gust of wind against the huge swarm of blood crystals flying over. A large number of blood crystals suddenly burst into pieces after being exposed to the violent wind swept by the Baihu Jingyu fan. What's shocking is that what burst out of the blood crystal turned out to be the red creation power. Although it is not as big as the previous ones, it is also terrifying. It's the kind of ghost creation power. Chuangdao sage cried out in shock. Chen Shang used the Baihu Jingyu fan again, swept the strong wind against the rear, but also blew out the red power of creation. These creative powers seemed to him more and more weird, and he wanted to avoid contact as much as possible, so he didn't plan to include them in the Proud God Furnace and 6 God Mirrors. For Chen Shang, he must be cautious when facing the red power of creation, especially this kind of mutation ability. When he first rushed to the Blood Crystal Giant Mountain to save the Creation Dao sages, the dozen or so groups of red creation power he took away at that time were still relatively weak. However, the dozens of red creative powers he took away began to be different. Those dozens of creative powers knew how to condense, and wanted to break through the ***** of pride. The red creation power hidden in the blood crystals in front of them is even more amazing, and they have brought a sense of spiritual oppression to people. In other words, the current red creation power has already begun to attack the soul. Both Kalian and Chuangdao sages suddenly felt tired and very sleepy. They wanted to close their eyes and rest. It's the red power of creation. Chen Shang whispered. You have to overcome this fatigue. Although Chen Shang blew a large amount of red creation power away, the moment the blood crystal exploded, the shock wave, accompanied by a wave of soul energy, caused a certain attack on Chen Shang and their souls. Can't we run away? The Chuangdao sage not only felt suddenly exhausted, but even felt depressed. Yusa. Kalian's mood also changed a lot at this time. She looked desperate and couldn't say anything. This kind of creative power is so capable, which Chen Shang did not expect. Afterwards, a large number of blood crystals flew over. Here again, Chen Shang knew very well that even if the blood crystal was blown out and exploded, it would still be affected by that kind of energy. At that time, the emotions of Kalian and Chuangdao sages will be affected again. Maybe they will do something stupid because of this. Sister Jing, use 6 Tai Chi arrays. Chen Shang suddenly shouted. The range is a bit larger. Can it be used while flying at high speed? Absolutely, Sister Xiao Jing said. The 6 magic mirrors suddenly rotated, and the mirrors that Chen Shang and the others were on did not rotate, but were rotating outside. A 6-path Tai Chi formation was formed, and a 6-path Tai Chi field was also formed. The scope of the field is not small, forming a big circle. The 6 magic mirrors are in the center of the ring. When a large number of flying blood crystals touch the outer ring of the domain, they will spin with the outer ring of the domain and be involved in the outermost ring of the domain. In this way, a large number of blood crystals cannot fly close to the 6 magic mirrors. Chen Shang quickly took out 2 handfuls of golden powder and sprinkled them on the bodies of Kalian and Chuangdao sages to help them drive away evil spirits. The golden powder he extracted from the blood crystal could restrain the red power of creation. Kalian and Chuangdao sages were invaded by the red creative power just now. After Chen Shang sprayed the golden powder, their depressed mood gradually disappeared and recovered. Their emotions had changed just now, and they remembered clearly, and after recovering at this moment, they all felt lingering fears. That kind of red power of creation is terrible. Chuangdao sage looked at the golden powder on his body and said, fortunately there is such a thing, otherwise I don't know what will happen next. Chen Shang used golden powder to refine many gadgets for Kalian and Chuangdao sages to wear. However, those golden gadgets are now slightly red, which is obviously contaminated by the red power of creation. Senior, what do you think is the golden powder inside the blood crystal? Why can this kind of thing restrain the red creation power? Chen Shang said. Kalian and Chuangdao sages also took off their body protection accessories at this moment. They were also surprised when they saw the redness. I don't know, it should come from another day, said the creative sage. The power of creation comes from another day, so the thing that restrains the power of creation should also come from another day. Chen Shang had already collected a lot of blood crystals before, and this golden powder was still enough for the time being. They are still chasing, and if this goes on, we will be overtaken by them sooner or later. Kalian said. I want to continue to refine the red power of creation. After the 6 magic mirrors absorb this power, they may be able to jump in space. Chen Shang said. Because of the attack from the blood crystal flying over, Chen Shang was interrupted, and now he continues to refine the red power of creation. Kalian and Chuangdao sages can only transfer their own power into the 6 magic mirrors to strengthen the scope of the 6 magic mirrors, so as to block a large number of blood crystals. They all knew that there was a lot of red power in the blood crystal, and if it exploded, it would be very scary. Chen Shang was earnestly controlling the Aoshi God Furnace to refine the red power of creation, and suddenly he sensed a wave of spatial fluctuations. The sage of Chuangdao reacted quickly, and immediately stretched out a flashing blue hand and grabbed a blood crystal long sword that was suddenly chopped down. Sword God Guard, the creation sage said solemnly. He was only shocked in his heart, because the sword ***** guard turned out to be so powerful. Kalian reacted quickly, and the sword in her hand immediately pierced the sword Shenwei. However, the sword God Guard suddenly disappeared. A burly person who attacked instantly and suddenly disappeared. The red long sword held by the Sage of Creation was actually made of blood. Sword God Guard also absorbed the red power of creation, so he became so strong. Kalian said. No, something has entered my body. Chuang Dao's expression changed drastically, and he wanted to shake off the blood crystal sword in his hand, but he couldn't get rid of it. Ah, my power is flowing into this sword. Chuang Dao sage cried out again. Chen Shang immediately took out the Azure Dragon Slaughter Demon knife and slashed towards the arm of the Chuangdao saint. The sage of Chuangdao broke one of his own arms before, and it soon grew back. The broken arm is nothing to him, and he is not afraid of Chen Shang cut. However, Chen Shang was unable to cut off the arm of the sage of Chuangdao with this powerful slash, as if he had struck a very solid object. Chen Zhang's face changed, and he quickly grabbed a handful of golden powder and wiped it on the blade of the Qinglong Tumo knife. When he touched it, he heated his arm to melt the golden powder into a liquid and let the blade fully absorb it. Senior, hold back, Chen Shang slashed again, finally cutting off the arm of the Chuangdao sage, and then he quickly grabbed the blood crystal long sword and threw it into the Aoshi God Furnace. World Defying Dan God Chapter 4644, 12 Soul Sea. Chen Shang is also a little flustered now, because after absorbing the red power of creation, the sages of Yishan not only improved their strength, they also mastered many strange and powerful methods. For example, the sword God Guard suddenly jumped in space just now, and stabbed that sword. Although it did not stab the sage of Chuangdao, it was touched by the sage of Chuangdao. Senior, how do you feel now? After Chen Shang finished speaking, he grabbed a handful of golden powder and heated it in his palm to turn it into a golden liquid. I don't know. I feel that the red power of creation has entered my body. I'm finished. You are going to kill me, don't let me hurt you. Chuangdao sage whispered in despair. Senior, open your mouth. Chen Shang shouted loudly, awakening the lost creative sage. The sage of Chuangdao opened his mouth immediately, and Chen Shang quickly poured the melted golden liquid into the mouth of the sage of Chuangdao. After pouring it in, he immediately used a lot of strength to hold down the mouth of the Chuangdao sage to prevent him from vomiting. Chuangdao sage suddenly struggled, because drinking those things made him very uncomfortable. All help, Kalian also came over suddenly, holding down the struggling creative sage. After that, Chen Shang took out a handful of golden powder and heated it to turn it into a liquid. He suddenly pressed his palm on the head of the sage of Chuangdao and released his strongest soul power to pour the liquid into the soul of the sage of Chuangdao. There is a hot liquid in the body and soul of the sage of creation at this moment, which is also extremely painful for him. Senior, we are all for your good. You must hold back, Chen Shang said solemnly. You can rest assured, no matter what happens, we will not give up on you. Senior, after all, you are the person who has lived the longest among us. We need your rich experience to help us analyze the situation, and we need you to preside over the overall situation in the future. Kalian said, I and Chen Shang are not good at it. These things, so you must hold on to it. Both Chen Shang and Kalian knew that since the creation sage was tempted by the red power of creation, his whole person had become very pessimistic, which caused him to lose the motivation to live. You must know that people like Chuangdao sage who have lived for many years have long been dismissive of life and death. If he does not stimulate him to live, he is very likely to give up himself. At this time, it is necessary to rely on the willpower of the creative sages to defeat the red creative power. Chen Shang didn't expect that the sages of Yishan had an endless stream of methods, just to let the creative sages absorb the red creation power. It was obvious that they had some conspiracy. In other words, the creative sages have not been captured by the red creative power, which will make them feel extremely uncomfortable. And this time, the creative sage was invaded by the red creative power, which he never expected. After all, the way just now was really hard to guard against. Under the joint suppression of Shen Shang and Kalian, coupled with the tenacious willpower of the creative sage, he finally gradually suppressed the red creative power in his body, and forced it out of his body, and was absorbed and sealed by the Ao Shishan Lu. They should never come again. Chen Shang looked at the rear, very quiet, and didn't see a cloud of red mist again. The 6 magic mirrors have been flying at a high speed, and I don't know if the sages of Yishan have given up. It took Chen Shang and Kalian several hours to help the sages of creation to resist the red power of creation on the 6th Dao mirror, but during this time, the sages of Yishan did not take any other actions. Maybe Sword God Guard uses that trick, which consumes a lot of them. Kalian said. It's not just exhausting. The Chuangdao sage suddenly opened his eyes. He has woke up. Although his expression is haggard, his eyes have become much sharper. Senior, are you all right? Chen Shang breathed a sigh of relief and smiled. It seems that you have gained a lot. You brat, you really are a genius. In that kind of critical situation, you thought of using this method to save me. The creative sage laughed and said, of course he remembered that Chen Shang forcibly poured him the golden hot liquid. Actually, I didn't think too much at the time. Anyway, a dead horse is a living horse, doctor. Chen Shang shrugged and said. Senior, you said that the sages of Yishan are not only expensive, but besides, are there other reasons why they didn't catch up? Kalian asked. They can't stay away from that mountain, said the Chuangdao sage. They chase all the way and consume a lot of money. If they want to replenish, they must return to that mountain to quickly replenish it. So in the end, they took the sword ***** guard send it over and used that trick on me. Then they will chase again. Chen Shang frowned. We are going to find Leonor's cosmic destiny now. If they chase it, it won't be easy to do. After they go back this time, they will definitely be prepared and reserve enough supplies. The Chuangdao sage said. They will definitely catch up. We will continue to do our things. Don't worry about the universe's fate, we will find it sooner or later, and we will have a battle with them. Senior, did you successfully absorb part of the creative power? Kalian asked with some curiosity. Yes. For some reason, the red power of creation was purified by me and absorbed by me, mostly because of the golden powder, plus the help of you and Shen Shang, so I succeeded in purifying a small part of the creation. Shilly, and absorbed it, said the creative sage. Although it only absorbed a small part of the world-creating power, it has improved me a lot. What kind of improvement? Shen Shang asked. I suddenly added a sea of AA souls. Chuangdao sage said. I am now the sea of AA 12 souls. Chen Shang remembered that Kalian had said that when she was Emperor Lotus back then, her peak cultivation base had a sea of AA 9 souls, so she should have a sea of AA 10 souls in the days of the Mother of Heaven. The creation sage is stronger than her, with 11 soul seas, and now suddenly there is another soul sea. This is indeed a huge improvement. I don't even remember how many years have passed. I actually broke through again. Unbelievable, unbelievable, Chuangdao sage exclaimed. Then Yishan sages, how about their cultivation? Chen Shang asked. They should all have more than 10 soul seas. Chuangdao sage said with a solemn expression, we have to face them, and the pressure is still great. If one of them has soul seas surpassing me, it will be even more difficult. Chen Shang now only has the double soul sea, and because of the limitations of the soul sea, his 6 ways of cultivation have made him unable to continue to improve. The soul sea determines the upper limit of the 6 cultivation bases. They have a lot of soul seas, but the 6 cultivation bases may not be able to keep up. Chen Shang said. The 6 cultivation principles are still relatively strict. To be promoted. Do you like this site? Donate here. World Defying Dan God Chapter 4645, Not Soul Sea. It's not like this. Chuangdao sage shook his head and said, Chen Shang, you haven't cultivated multiple soul seas. You can't understand how strong an additional soul sea is. Really? Chen Shang frowned, and said, well, although I have cultivated the 3rd soul sea, I don't feel how strong it is. Maybe something is wrong with that soul sea. Chen Shang did cultivate the third soul sea before, but because he cultivated it through the cursed spirit, later the cursed spirit had a problem, so he has been unable to enter his third soul sea anymore, so he is not now there are 3 soul seas. What? You have cultivated the third soul sea? This is impossible. Chuangdao sage looked at Chen Shang in surprise. You can cultivate the third soul sea in this kind of place. He was unbelievable. Kalian was also a little surprised and said, speaking of theory, it is difficult to cultivate the soul sea in Aoshi universe. Can you cultivate a third one? Kalian knew before that Chen Shang had a double soul sea. In her opinion, Chen Shang should not be able to cultivate a third one. How do you say this? Chen Shang scratched his head and sighed. I have come out of cultivation, but I can't get in. I could get in, but some problems later appeared, which caused the third soul sea to be closed. Kalian and Chuangdao sages both expressed incomprehension about this. If you are out of the soul sea, you can enter, how can you not enter? Chuangdao sage was puzzled. Chen Shang, tell me about your situation. Kalian said. Chen Shang simply said that he had absorbed the cursed spirit and cultivated the triple soul sea, but later the cursed spirit wanted to swallow him, causing him to have to purify the power of the cursed spirit. After that, he could not enter the triple soul sea. Are you unable to enter the triple soul sea, or the triple soul sea is gone? The Chuangdao sage was also very interested in what happened to Chen Shang. It's still there, I can feel it. I just can't get in. Chen Shang shook his head. He doesn't know what's going on now. Maybe my situation is very complicated, and I can only find it out later. Can you cultivate the soul sea after absorbing the power of creation? What is the principle? Kalian said, I don't know if I can give it a try. Don't try for the time being. Chuangdao sage waved his hand and said, little girl, we don't know anything about Chuangshi power now, and we can't try recklessly. I succeeded only by making mistakes, and the process is very thrilling. Leonor, the predecessor is right. Even if it is me, I don't dare to try indiscriminately now. Chen Shang said. However, the law of Aoshi universe does not seem to allow the cultivation of the soul sea. Kalian said, if we do not use the power of creation to cultivate the new soul sea, then our strength will definitely stagnate. If you cultivate a new Shanhai, will your strength be improved? Chen Shang asked. How obvious is the improvement? Can you gain strong power without improving the 6 cultivation bases? When Chen Shang cultivated the triple soul sea before, he could feel a little improvement, but that was all. 6 Dao cultivation base is of course very important, but after you cultivate a new soul sea, that feeling will be different. Although the 6 Dao cultivation base will not increase much, but the 6 Dao Yuan strength will increase a lot. Chuang Dao sage said. It should be said that the quality of the 6 Dao Yuanli has also improved. Kalian said. It seems that you will have to study carefully in the future. Chen Shang nodded. Aoshi Universe's practice rules are now limited to the 6 principles of practice. There is no law of the soul sea practice. Chuangdao sage shook his head and said, I think the soul sea of AA the sage's Yishan is extremely high. It may be someone else's soul sea. What's going on again? Chen Shang opened his mouth in surprise. He has integrated the power of creation, and it is very likely that he will get a sea of AA souls at the same time. This sea of AA souls is a ready-made one, and they have integrated one or more seas of souls. Chuangdao sage said. The soul sea I cultivated seems to be also in this way. In essence, I did not cultivate it myself. In the universe divine sea, how can I cultivate the soul sea? Chen Shang suddenly thought of Yi Tianshu. At first, Yi Tianshu thought that Chen Shang could cultivate out of the soul sea, so he was very interested in him. Cultivating the soul sea in the divine sea of AA the universe also requires obtaining a soul sea and then fusing it. Kalian said, although the process looks like we have cultivated it by ourselves, it is actually the soul sea fusion. The creative sages stopped talking. Because for many years, he thought it was the soul sea that he cultivated, but now it seems that the soul sea was not cultivated by them at all, but after they obtained it, they merged with them. Doesn't this mean that your soul sea is someone else's? Chen Shang took a deep breath and looked at Kalian and Chuangdao sages with strange eyes. It should be. The Chuangdao sage sighed and said, there is no soul sea practice rule at all. The soul sea is ready-made. I don't know how to form it or how to pass it. It will be finally obtained by us, and then we will get it again. Melt into your own soul. But, my double soul sea seems to have been cultivated by myself. Chen Shang said, At that time, I didn't know any universe divine sea, and I had never been in contact with the power of creation. Kalian and the sages of Chuangdao were all in deep thought, because the formation of Chen Zhang's soul sea was too weird. Outside the cosmic divine sea, there should be no one who can cultivate out of the soul sea. I have entered your soul sea. Your soul sea is actually different from ours. Kalian said suddenly. Maybe it is a similar existence to the soul sea, but it is not the soul sea. It's just that you heard that after the matter about the soul sea. I think it is the soul sea. Yes, Chen Shang, you have explored a path of cultivation yourself. What you have cultivated is not the soul sea, but some unknown stuff. Even you have not figured out how to exert a powerful force. Chuangdao sages nodded again and again. You said that you cultivated the third soul sea before, but couldn't get in. I guess your third soul sea, because it was formed by the power of creation, was rejected by your first and second soul seas. Kalian said again. Chen Shang, we can't help you with your own path, we can only comprehend it by yourself. That's it. Chen Shang had heard before that the soul sea is generally relatively small, and his soul sea is very vast. Chen Shang was thinking at this time, how can Aoshi universe form his soul sea practice law? Otherwise, the sages of Yishan and the others will continue to obtain the soul sea, and the people of Aoshi universe will not be able to cultivate the soul sea, and they will suffer very much. Because there were no enemies chasing after him, Chen Shang was much easier now, and he didn't need to go frantically to refine all kinds of things. And the 6 magic mirrors are still flying at extremely fast speeds, looking for the cosmic fate of Kalian. World Defying Dan God Chapter 4646, Creation Soul Fu. Kalian sat on the 6th Dao Shen mirror, closed her eyes and tried to call her clone, while the creative sage was familiar with the red creation power he had just acquired. Chen Shang could see that the creation sage was still excited at this time. After all, he finally gained the red creation power, and gaining this power did not make him give anything. Chen Shang, you used to be with my avatar before. Are they all in the 6th-dimensional mirror? Kalian also knows that there is a cave in Chen Zhang's 6th-dimensional mirror. Yeah, they are all very well now. Chen Shang nodded. Kalian looked at Chen Shang, then looked at the sages of Chuangdao, and secretly asked Chen Shang, have you ever had anything to do with them? It's best to answer me truthfully. Don't worry, I won't blame you. Although Kalian used her spiritual sense to transmit her voice, she also expressed a very gentle tone. She really wouldn't blame Chen Shang, but she wanted to know this. Chen Shang was a little puzzled. Why did Kalian ask that? Is it so unbearable in Kalian's eyes? Leonor, why do you think something happened to your avatar and me? Chen Shang did not directly answer Kai Lian. I just think that this is my intuition. A very strong intuition. Kalian seemed to be sure, and Chuanian said, although I still can't read all the memories of the clone, I still have a very peculiar kind feel. Well, something really happened, but it just happened with a clone. And that was not my initiative. Chen Shang was also a little embarrassed. Leonor, do you want to know the process? Seriously, yours. This clone is very interesting. I have mastered a very powerful technique and restrained me. I was taken down by her using that technique. Kalian frowned slightly. Judging from her expression, although she was a little angry, she did not know how, she felt a strange sense of excitement in her heart. Chen Shang looked at Kalian. He couldn't tell what kind of personality Kalian was in front of him. It looks like the personality of Emperor Lian, but it has the calmness and vicissitudes of Tianmu personality, and then there is a little gentleness and tenderness of Leonor personality. You and my avatar, what have gone through, let's listen to it. By the way, about my avatar in your 6 mirrors, don't tell seniors. Kalian exhorted. She didn't want to let the creative sages know about this, lest the creative sages think about it. Afterwards, Chen Shang talked about Fang Qing's illusion of loss of soul, and her wives also mastered the art of illusion of loss of soul, and then the battle with the village of loss of soul. And the process of being taken down by Fang Qing, he also said in great detail. It's really interesting. I didn't expect my clone to have this kind of experience. Illusory realm. I really want to experience it. Kalian sighed to Chen Shang after listening. They communicated with their divine consciousness. Although the creative sages next to them could not hear them, they could see that they were communicating, and they did not expose them. Moreover, in the eyes of the Chuangdao sage, it was the young couple who were exchanging feelings or something, and he also showed his aunt's smile slightly. Leonor, I don't think you need to reclaim your own clone. Chen Shang didn't want Fang Qing to be reclaimed, so he said his own thoughts, maybe I am selfish, but I really don't want Fang Qing to be disappear like this. Don't worry, I have realized a new method. I can get stronger through them without recycling them. At the same time, they will not be harmed. Kalian nodded lightly. Actually, they are reincarnated through my divided soul, which is equivalent to a new life. My relationship with them shouldn't be regarded as mother and daughter, sisters. If you recycle them, then I will kill them. I can indeed become stronger, but this will make my path of cultivating Tianmu Wanshiju more and more crooked, and finally I will go to the path of demons. Kalian herself has a sense of this. Isn't it? They are forcibly recycled by you, there will definitely be grievances. They will definitely have a great impact on you in the future. Chen Shang also thinks so. Chen Shang, what is your relationship with Qing Lian now? Kalian asked. I don't know, let's do everything. Chen Shang sighed. You don't owe her. Kalian also sighed softly, maybe, some things are destined in the dark. Because Kai Lian also knows very well that her Lianer personality, as well as Zi Lian, have a constant relationship with Chen Shang. At this time, the Chuangdao sage coughed a few times, cough cough cough. He opened his eyes and said, I just felt my new soul see seriously and made new discoveries. Senior, what did you find? Is it a good direction or a bad direction? Kalian asked. I'm not sure if it is good or bad. Chuangdao sage said with a serious face. The soul sea I just cultivated still has red power of creation, but that power of creation can be completely controlled by me. And, soul the creative power in the sea is very different from the outside. Could it be that the sages of Yishan and the others use the power of creation in the sea of AA souls, so they have mastered many strange and powerful methods? Chen Shang said. Extremely possible. The creation sage nodded. I guess, every red creation power should have a soul gift inside, which can give the owner a kind of ability to transcend the laws of the universe. For example, the ability of the sword god guard to jump in space before is a kind of soul empowerment ability that transcends the laws of the universe. Kalian said. Yes. Chuangdao sage nodded. Senior, can you use this ability? Chen Shang asked hurriedly, still a little excited. No, that soul gift is in my soul sea, like being sealed, no matter what I do, it just can't be opened. Chuangdao sage said. It should be my way of obtaining the red power of creation is wrong, so that kind of soul empowerment does not recognize me. I suddenly felt that this would be a hidden danger. Kalian said. It shows that the red power of creation that the predecessors merged has not been completely purified. I think so too. Chuangdao sage nodded and smiled. So I have to interrupt your young couple. After all, this matter is still very important. Senior, what are you talking about? Kalian lowered her head slightly and said softly. Chen Shang rolled his eyes speechlessly. Ha ha ha, nothing is nothing. Chuangdao sage laughed, then looked at Chen Shang, and said, Chen Shang, if you enter my soul sea and help me get rid of that soul gift completely, I don't want this. Planting ghosts, I can have an extra soul sea, I am already very satisfied. I can try, Chen Shang said, but we can't do anything in the 6 magic mirrors. We are still flying, it's very dangerous. World Defying Dan God Chapter 4647, Chasing Troops. Chen Shang and the others continued to fly for a day in the 6 magic mirrors, and they made sure that the sages of Yishan did not catch up, and then they landed under a mountain below. This mountain happened to have a cave, and they entered the cave. Kalian was patrolling outside, while Chen Shang was in the cave with the Chuangdao sage, studying the situation of the soul gift. The soul sea that Chuangdao sages had just cultivated had a soul gift in it, but it was sealed. Chen Shang is now entering the soul sea of AA Chuangdao sage. Although he only enters with consciousness, he is on the scene after entering. He is observing the environment of this soul sea. After the formation of the soul sea, the environment inside was caused by a combination of many factors. For example, the soul sea of AA the Sage of Creation, now looks red, and it must be related to the power of red creation. Senior, where is that soul gift? Chen Shang looked at the sky, and then shouted. After the creative sage heard Chen Zhang's voice, his consciousness also entered his own soul sea, and turned into an old man with long beard, and appeared beside Chen Shang. It's there. Chuangdao sage pointed to the front. I can't see anything. Chen Shang looked around. The ground was very flat red soil, and the sky was also stained red. The world is empty, there is nothing. You can't see it, you shouldn't, it's there, and it's big. Chuangdao sage pointed to the front, frowning and said, "Strange, why can't you see it? Logically speaking, you enter my soul sea. It should be visible." Kalian had entered Chen Zhang's soul sea before and saw his killing Chelong. "Is there really something over there? Or, only you can see it?" Chen Shang looked in the direction pointed by the creative sage. There was really nothing there. "Or I will take you over and see if I can touch it," said the Chuangdao sage, and then led Chen Shang to walk over. This is also equivalent to approaching the sealed soul Fu with the meaning of Chen Shang. After Chen Shang approached, his face gradually became serious, and he said, "I can't see it, but I can sense it." Although it was only Chen Zhang's consciousness entering the soul sea, his expression was also very real, the same as in reality. "Chen Shang, do you have any findings?" Seeing Chen Zhang's reaction, the Chuangdao sage asked hurriedly. "I'm not sure now." Chen Shang just shook his head. After coming to this place, he found that he seemed to have come into contact with the curse spirit. The two cursing spirits he had touched before in Shutation were like this. "Senior, I told you before that I once practiced two spell spirits." Chen Shang said, "I have a familiar feeling when I come here now." "You mean, the sealed soul gift in my soul sea is very similar to the curse spirit you have been in contact with?" asked the Chuangdao sage. "Yes, it's really similar." Chen Shang nodded, "It's very likely the same thing. Is that a soul gift?" The creation sage was also very curious, and said, "If it is a soul gift, what abilities do the two cursed spirits you refined before have any abilities?" "The abilities of the protruding man and the lost soul village are given by those two cursed spirits," Chen Shang said. "That's it," the sage of Chuangdao suddenly realized, and said, "The ability of the soul gift is determined by the winner." "Not bad." Chen Shang nodded and said, "But this kind of soul gift has side effects. This is not a good thing." Chuangdao sage sighed, "Although it sounds tempting and can give people powerful power, this thing is too evil." "I'll try now, can I get it away?" Chen Shang said. "Yes." Chuangdao sage nodded. Although Chen Shang couldn't see it, he could feel it. After touching his hands, he immediately activated the dementing curse. In his opinion, these soul gifts are essentially a kind of soul body, so after he improved the dementing curse, it was also effective for these soul gifts. Before long, this invisible soul gift was introduced into his soul sea by him. "Chen Shang, are you okay?" The Chuangdao sage was a little worried. After Chen Shang took away that soul gift, the soul sea of AA Chuangdao sages suddenly became brighter, not as red as before. "I need a little time to refine." Chen Shang said, "This thing is not as difficult as a cursed spirit. It may be that most of the red power of creation was absorbed and purified by me, so this thing is not that powerful anymore," said the sage of Chuangdao. Chen Shang nodded, and then left the soul sea of AA Chuangdao sages and immediately sat on the six-way magic mirror, running the heavenly refining technique, to refine the soul fortune in his own soul sea. Although the creative sage did not ask, he knew that Chen Shang was very cautious now, which shows that the soul gift is still very tricky. Before Chen Shang really wanted to try to see if he could make this soul proposition possess abilities, but after he introduced this soul proposition into his own soul sea, he found that it was very dangerous. This soul proposition quickly sent out a kind of consciousness, tempting Chen Shang to sacrifice, and after the sacrifice, he would gain a kind of ability, but at the same time it also needed to pay something. As for paying for the above, it is not expressly stated. Chen Shang immediately received these messages after he inhaled his soul feast into his own soul sea, letting him know about these things, but he resisted the temptation and quickly used the technique of heavenly refining to refine this soul feast. He has a wealth of experience in dealing with this kind of things, so the consciousness and all kinds of evil powers in the soul feast are quickly purified. Then he got very pure astral energy. He draws out this astral energy, injects it into the proud world ***** furnace to continue burning, and finally condenses it into a liquid. Because this kind of energy is too little, so it can only be like those cursed spirits, refined into liquid and cannot condense pill. "Are you guys getting better? I feel a trace of something wrong." Kalian suddenly rushed in and said hurriedly. "Are they chasing?" Chen Shang frowned. "I shouldn't, I've been hiding well along the way." "Their tracking ability is still very strong," Chuangdao sage said. Chen Shang could only release the 6 magic mirrors immediately, and then continued to fly in the air with Kalian and Chuangdao sages. But this time, not long after they flew, they saw a group of people ahead, and they were the sages of Yishan. They just appeared in front of them and blocked them. Where are you going this time? The sage Yishan laughed and said, don't worry, we will not kill you. Instead, we will give you a chance. With that, the sage Yishan and his party immediately threw a large group of red lights. It's a lot of red creativity. The sages of Yishan want Chen Shang and the others to absorb the red creative power. World Defying Dan God Chapter 4648, Ao Shi Tianwei. The red devil Lei Zun rushed to the forefront. Although he was murderous, after he flew over, he only released a huge red energy cover that enveloped Chen Shang and the others. The sages of Yishan and others all rushed over and surrounded the red energy shield, and then all released a kind of red energy to strengthen the red energy shield. At this time, Chen Shang and the others were covered in it, and they were unable to break through this energy cover. Ha ha ha, you guys enjoy the gift. Lei Zun the red devil grinned and said, no one can refuse this gift, you must accept it. Although I hate you very much, as long as you enjoy this gift, you will be our companions from now on. Yishan sage sneered. This time, let's see how you escape. Afterwards, hundreds of groups of red powers of creation entered the red energy shield one after another, and then flew towards Chen Shang and them. Are we going to die? Although the creative sage has just cultivated a soul sea, he is right under his eyes, but there are a large group of people whose strength is far surpassing him. What made him feel most powerless was that those red creative powers restrained him very much, and there are still so many. I have one more trick. Chen Shang took a deep breath and said, you all enter the 6 magic mirrors. Give it to me here. Chen Shang hated the group of sages Yishan extremely, but his current strength is limited. Facing this group of people, he can only temporarily retreat. And this time, he knew that if he blindly retreated, he would be considered by the other party that they were too embarrassed, and the other party would think that they could be free to use. Therefore, he must now show strong enough power to frighten the sages of Yishan, otherwise the opponent will only chase them again and again. Kalian and Chuangdao sages are somewhat worried. They all know that with Chen Zhang's current strength, if they want to break the current predicament, they must make great sacrifices. Don't worry about me, Chen Shang said solemnly. You temporarily enter the 6 magic mirrors. The creative sages and Kalian no longer said anything, and cooperated with Chen Shang to quickly enter the 6 mirrors. Girl Jing, open the Ao Shi universe map. Chen Shang said, the liquid I made with the cursed spirit before can be used up. The cursed spirit is the power of creation. After being refined into liquid by Chen Shang, it also contains a lot of energy. During this period of time, the 6 magic mirrors have absorbed that liquid from time to time as energy to drive the 6 magic mirrors. Sister Xiaojing and Shen Shang had a close mind. Knowing what Chen Shang was going to do now, she immediately urged the 6 god mirrors to open the Ao Shi universe map. At the moment of opening, the 6 divine mirrors also expanded and enlarged. It was originally in broad daylight, but with the appearance of the Ao Shi universe map, a field-like night gradually appeared, with dozens of huge stars suspended in the air, and descended. Share energy. The 6 magic mirrors absorb these energy, not only expand and enlarge, but also accelerate their rotation. As the 6 magic mirrors gradually grew larger and rotated, the red energy shield was also broken, and the 6 magic mirrors quickly rose to the sky, facing the sage Yishan and the others below. Realizing the horror of the 6 divine mirrors, the red devil Lei Zun was the first to make a move, punching the sky that covered the sky and the sun like a mirror. Fists burst, thunder roars. A red fist wind condenses into a huge red thunder rolling fist, like a huge mountain of sky, 6 sacred mirrors rushing into the air. The 6 sacred mirrors that were spinning fast, suddenly stopped, and countless stars suddenly appeared on the clear mirror surface. The stars swirled in the mirror, like a huge vortex, shining with bright starlight, and the center of the vortex was pitch black, which seemed to have an extremely terrifying swallowing power. The theory of Red Devil Lei Zun's punch seemed to destroy the world, but after approaching the 6 gods' mirror, it was swallowed by the black hole in the center of the whirlpool. This scene stunned the sages of Yishan, the sage of heavenly punishment and others, and their inner fears couldn't help but surge. Because they all knew the power of the Red Devil Lei Zun's punch just now, it was not so easy to receive, and it broke out with the help of a theory of red creation power. However, it was just swallowed, and there was no reaction at all. Lei Zun of the Red Devil and the others looked up at the mirror surface of the 6 divine mirrors, looked at the star sea vortex composed of countless huge stars, and suddenly felt like dust. At this moment, they seemed to be looking at a corner of Ao Shi universe, but this corner is so vast and magnificent. Just when they were in fear, the 6 divine mirrors suddenly trembled, and the black hole in the center of the star sea vortex suddenly burst into red light, blasting a red energy beam at the ground. The sages of Yishan, the sage of punishment and Lei Zun of the Red Devil reacted the fastest, and they dodged immediately. This sudden red light beam is very huge, covering a very wide area, just like the sky suddenly bursting and pouring red lightning waterfall. The Red Devil Lei Zun and others moved away from the area covered by the 6 god mirrors at the fastest speed, and rushed out of the world of the proud universe map. "How are you all?" Yishan sage shouted. "Who else is alive? Come here soon." After moving away from the 6 gods mirror, the sage Yishan collapsed a little and shouted. In the end, the Red Devil Lei Zun, the Heavenly Punishment Sage, the Sword God Guard, and the Wind God Guard all flew over and stood beside him. Their faces were extremely ugly, and their eyes showed fear. The 6 divine mirrors were also rapidly shrinking, and then flew quickly in one direction. The sage Yishan and the others could only look at it from a distance, not daring to come closer. Chen Shang. Sage Yishan gritted his teeth and roared. "This guy is indeed a person with a cosmic fate, there is indeed something." The Heavenly Punishment Sage sighed. "It seems that it is very difficult for us to complete that task. We can only go back and ask for new instructions." But they came to dozens of people, and they all merged with the red creation power, and they all became very strong. They were destroyed so many in an instant, only a few of them were left. If they didn't run just now, even if they didn't die, they would have been seriously injured. Chen Shang should also try his best, otherwise he will continue to chase us. Red Devil Lei Zun said. However, none of us can guarantee whether he has hidden strength, so we should go back and ask for instructions first. Chen Zhang's hand really scared them. So they dare not continue chasing them now. The 6 magic mirrors are in the sky, slowing down the flight speed. Fortunately, Chen Shang breathed a sigh of relief, and said, "If it weren't for the Red Devil Lei Zun's punch, the 6 divine mirrors would probably not be able to bounce back with such a powerful force. Brother, I have swallowed hundreds of red power of creation. I can still seal it in the proud god furnace, but I can't hold it for too long." Little Mirror said, "You have to hurry up and find a way to suppress it. Hundreds of red creative powers, that is very precious and powerful energy. You know, Lei Zun, the Red Devil, just mobilized a group of red creation power to strike that terrifying punch." World Defying Dan God Chapter 4649, Astral Power. Fortunately, before Shen Shang refined the cursed spirit into liquid, so that the 6 magic mirrors could also have enough power to block the punch, and bounce it back, or else release the 6 magic mirrors of the proud universe map. It's hard to hold that punch. It can be seen how terrifying the red creation power is, but now the 6 magic mirrors and the proud ***** furnace have suppressed hundreds of red creation power. The 6 god mirror and Aoshi god furnace were all improved by adding a large amount of blood crystals to refine the material, in order to restrain the red power of creation. The red power of creation is too much now, and Chen Shang has no time to extract the golden powder to strengthen the proud god furnace and 6 god mirrors. I really can't hold it, so let go of all the red power of creation. Chen Shang said. Now that we have to give up. Both Chen Shang and Sister Xiao Jing were reluctant to bear the red power of creation, after all, they are powerful energy that can be purified. Chen Shang also counted on using these red powers of creation to comprehend the new principles of soul sea cultivation. Also, he wants to study the red power of creation, how exactly is it formed, and can Aoshi universe also nurture this kind of energy? But right now, he really couldn't think of any way to suppress the hundreds of red creative powers, so he could only regret to abandon them. Brother, there is another way. Sister Xiao Jing said to Chen Shang. If it's too risky, then forget it. We can't take risks anymore. Although Chen Shang scared away the sage Yishan and the others, it was only temporary. Once the sages of Yishan chase them again, they will be very dangerous, so he is not allowed to take risks at all now. I know, my method is not risky. Little Mirror said, and it's very stable. What way? Chen Shang asked. Brother, Aoshi universe is the sky. What do you think will happen with your heavenly refining technique in the Aoshi universe chart? Little Jing said, the Aoshi universe chart performed well before. I am very tired now, but still can hold on for a while. We consume the last bit of creation ***** liquid, maybe we can temporarily suppress the hundreds of red creation power. It is indeed feasible, Chen Shang said. Let the sages of Chuangdao and Lianer come out and help us to patrol the guard outside. If there is any trouble, it will be easy for me to stop. Yes, with the cooperation of the 6 gods' mirrors and the Aoshi universe map, you might be able to suppress the hundreds of red creative powers in one go. Sister Xiaojing was also suddenly excited, because absorbing the creative power can also make her stronger. The premise is that the absorbed creative power must be purified. Chen Shang will start immediately. The sages of Yishan and the others suffered heavy losses before, and if so many people were killed at once, they would definitely be stunned in a short period of time, so they would not chase them right away. They were also afraid that Chen Shang would use the Aoshi universe map to destroy them, so they had to go back first, and they had to grow their men before they dared to pursue Chen Shang with confidence. Kalian and Chuangdao sages also don't know how Chen Shang got out of trouble. Chen Shang had told them that only a few of them were left, and the others were killed. They came out of the 6 Dao magic mirror, and they were all asking for specific details. They wanted to know what tricks Chen Shang used to get rid of that person. Chen Shang didn't tell them right away, but instead asked them to patrol and guard him around. The 6 divine mirrors just hovered high in the sky, and Chen Shang made them farther outside. He also told them that he would know how he killed so many ancient demon prisoners in a moment. After Kalian and Chuangdao sages moved away, the 6 magic mirrors began to grow bigger. The Aoshi universe map gradually appeared in the sky, and formed a domain. The domain was like night, and there were a lot of stars, and some stars were particularly shocking. Founding sages and Kalian, looking at the sky at this moment, it is like seeing a large number of galaxies when they travel through the universe. Chen Shang sat on the 6 sacred mirrors and released the proud god furnace. At this moment, Aoshi Shenlu was surrounded by the evil red mist, and was trembling crazily. Chen Shang controlled the 6 magic mirrors to cooperate with him, and began to use the technique of heavenly refinement. Chen Shang was sitting next to the Aoshi god furnace, and the Outworld god furnace was gradually getting bigger at this moment, like a hill. Chen Shang looked very weak in front of Aoshi Shenlu, but after he ran the heaven refining technique, his soul unexpectedly released a peculiar potential. Chuangdao sages and Kalian patrolled in the distance, and from time to time they looked in the middle of the 6 sacred mirrors. They could see the huge proud god furnace, and Chen Shang had been enveloped by the aura and light emitted by the proud god furnace, and he could not be seen anymore. As Chen Zhang's soul released a potential, Chuangdao sage and Kalian suddenly saw a phantom swelling and growing outside of Chen Zhang's body. That phantom was formed by the potential released by Chen Zhang's soul. Chen Zhang's body is too weak. Facing the proud god furnace that was inflated by the red power of creation, Chen Shang must be stronger to suppress the red power of creation. After operating the Tian Lian, he unknowingly felt that he was gradually merging with the Aoshi universe map, even he did not know that his soul would release such a huge potential. "Senior, is that Chen Shang?" Kalian said in surprise. "This seems to be formed by his soul." "Yes, this is the power of the soul," Chuangdao sage exclaimed. "What the **** is Chen Shang doing? How did he do it? His power of the soul is too powerful, right? Soul power. This is his soul power." Kalian asked in shock. "How could it be so powerful?" "It's the power of the soul." The Chuangdao sage was very sure, frowning and said, "Is it because of this reason that he doesn't let us get close? Such a powerful soul power, if we get close, then, we might be so soulless." Kalian took a deep breath of refining. Could it be that the group of ancient demon prisoners was killed by him like this? No, look at this field, it was released by the 6 magic mirrors. Chuangdao sage said, "It should be this kind of power that killed the group of guys." Chen Shang is now releasing the soul power in order to suppress a large number of people. Red Genesis. Chen Zhang's soul is getting bigger and bigger, and it is already twice as big as the Aoshi Shenlu after getting bigger. Aoshi Shenlu was still trembling before, but now it has stabilized, and it is clear that Chen Shang has the upper hand. But from a long distance away, the sages of Yishan and the others suddenly looked in the direction of Chen Shang and the others. "What is that? Soul power. Whose soul power? It's too terrible to come from such a distance." Sage Yishan widened his eyes and said in a deep voice, "What the ***** is the southern fallen forest place? We have to return to the blood crystal sacred mountain quickly." The heavenly punishment sage said, "Only there, we are safe." World Defying Dan God Chapter 4650, Beijing Giant Mountain. Chen Shang didn't know exactly how terrifying the state he had entered at this time, and this state could not be entered at any time. Sometimes this is the case, and you can enter a realm that you have never imagined. However, after deliberately trying many times in the future, it was never possible to enter again. Chen Shang just realized that his soul was matched with the Aoshi universe map, and after performing the Tian Lian operation, the soul seemed to have mastered a very peculiar and powerful force. When he was asked to burn those red powers of creation, he could be handy, he didn't feel so difficult, and the speed was very fast. It's still not enough. Although Chen Shang had released his soul power, he still couldn't completely suppress the red power of creation in one breath. He can only slightly suppress hundreds of red creation powers, and purify part of the consciousness of these red creation powers. In fact, it is very difficult for him to do this step. After all, his current cultivation base is not high, especially since his current soul C is very at least, it is already very rare that he can weaken hundreds of red creation powers. Chen Zhang's idea of weakening the red creative power is also very simple, that is to purify part of the evil consciousness so that the red creative power will also be weakened. Although the stored energy will be much less, it is at least safe. Finally, without knowing it, Chen Shang completely released his soul power, like a cocoon, wrapped hundreds of red power of creation, and kept it inside the Aoshi Shenlu. In this way, if he needs it in the future, he can extract the red creation power from it, extract 1 or 2 at a time, step by step, purify it little by little, and refine it into the of creation liquid. After solving this problem, Chen Shang is now much easier. And Sister Xiao Jing is very tired because of the release of the Aoshi universe picture one after another, and needs a good rest. The Aoshi universe map gradually dissipated, and after the domain disappeared, the creative sages and Kalian also felt a lot easier. They felt very stressed before, and the Aoshi universe map made them feel very small, as if they were dust, and their lives seemed to be taken away by this universe at any time. Chen Shang put away the proud god furnace, and flew to Kalian and Chuangdao sages on the 6-way magic mirror, and said with a smile, "You haven't waited for me for too long, right?" It didn't take long, it was just a long time. Chuangdao sage looked at Chen Shang, and said with emotion, "Chen Shang, I can't see through you now. You don't look as high as my cultivation base, but I feel that again, I can't beat you at all. Senior, I'm just an alchemy." Chen Shang laughed and said, "So I definitely can't beat you." "I don't believe it." The Chuangdao sage also laughed and said, "I am very happy to see your growth like this. Chen Shang, I seem to feel my cosmic destiny." Kalian said suddenly, "I don't know if it's an illusion. Did you feel it suddenly? Or have you always felt this way?" Chen Shang asked quickly. In fact, he couldn't be sure where Kalian's cosmic fate was, he just probably knew one direction. "Suddenly, is my cosmic destiny moving? Suddenly approaching me, that's why I have this feeling." Kalian frowned. "No, your cosmic destiny should be sealed." The creative sage stroked his beard, pondered for a while, and continued, "You can suddenly feel whether your cosmic destiny is now threatened." So there was a fierce reaction. "The sages of Yishan have just been scared away. It should be impossible to threaten my cosmic fate." Kalian said, "Who would it be? The southern fallen forest is very mysterious. We have seen many phenomena beyond our cognition here," said Chuangdao sage. "I'm sure there must be other very powerful things in this ghost place." "Leonor, can you feel the direction?" Chen Shang asked. Kalian pointed in a direction. After Chen Shang looked over, he nodded and said, "It feels the same as mine." He immediately controlled the 6 magic mirrors to fly over. Chen Shang had his own guess, because he knew that Shui Shenxian and the others had entered the southern fallen forest very early, and he felt that Lu Munger and the others should have found Kalian's cosmic destiny in the Cosmic Heart Palace. He didn't tell the matter, just because he was worried that Kalian would think more about it. He had to wait to confirm the situation before he could speak out and discuss it with Kalian. "I have a new guess about the southern fallen forest." Chuangdao sage sat on the high-speed 6 mirrors and looked ahead. "Talk about it," Chen Shang said. "The Heavenly Mother Sacred Desolate is attached to the southern fallen forest or something." Said the Chuangdao sage. "Originally, the southern fallen forest may not be very large, but because the southern fallen forest has a lot of that kind of creation power, the Heavenly Mother Sacred Desolate gradually parasite on the south fallen forest." "Perhaps." Chen Shang sighed, and said, "The Heavenly Mother Saint Wilderness will collapse sooner or later. Once destroyed, everything on this will drift in the Aoshi universe." Next, the 6 magic mirrors flew for more than 10 days. The size of the southern fallen forest is far beyond their imagination. Especially at the speed of the 6 god mirrors, flying at high speed for more than 10 days in a row, the southern falling forest is really terrifying. What the asterisk is this place? Standing on the 6 mirrors, the sage of Chuangdao couldn't help but yell as he looked at the boundless world in front of him. The southern fallen forest should be a big space. Kalian said. We flew all the way, and the bottom is very deserted. It seems that this space is expanding, but it lacks vitality. Just after the sages of Chuangdao shouted loudly, suddenly countless bows and arrows flew over from their side. The direction the sage of Chuangdao flew towards the arrow rain was to push it with one palm. The palm weathered into a huge golden palm, advancing slowly in the air like a mountain, blocking all the flying bows and arrows. Finally something happened, Chuangdao sage said. Otherwise, I would think we are trapped in the illusion. Senior, be careful, Chen Shang said in a deep voice. The arrow rain just now seems to be made by the power of creation. But it is not the red power of creation. There is also the power of creation here. There are also things like the giant mountain of blood crystals. Kalian said. What is the situation of my cosmic fate now? Why is it in such a place? Chen Shang immediately controlled the 6 magic mirrors and flew in the direction where the arrow rain shot. They found that those arrows weren't very strong, but had a weak creative power, so they decided to go and take a look. After they flew over, they found that there was a lot of white mist in front of them, and in the white mist, there was a huge white crystal mountain. This mountain is several times larger than the giant blood crystal mountain. The strangest thing is that only after getting close can you see the true face of this mountain. World Defying Dan God Chapter 4651, Wanzhou Mountain. Because they had all seen the giant blood crystal mountain before, now that they saw this giant white crystal mountain, they immediately thought of the huge amount of creative power inside this mountain. The blood crystal giant mountain gives people the feeling that it is strange and evil. And the huge white crystal mountain in front of me looks solemn and magnificent, exuding holy white light, giving people a very peaceful sense of security. Around the Beijing giant mountain, there were also white light clusters. As soon as Chen Shang saw those light clusters, he immediately determined that they were the power of creation. The white creativity seems to be stronger than the red creativity. The various things in the southern fallen forest are beyond my cognition. Chuangdao sage looked at the white crystal giant mountain for a long time, and sighed. This mountain is much larger than the previous blood crystal giant mountain. It's also much stronger. Could it be that the previous blood crystal giant mountain was evil, and this mountain is righteous? Chen Shang frowned. Not necessarily. Anyway, as long as it is the power of creation, you have to be careful. Kalian said. She indeed seems to be very cautious now. In contrast, the sage of creation is much more relaxed. The creative sage even closed his eyes, bathed in the holy light of the white crystal giant mountain, and looked like he enjoyed it. There is nothing wrong with this mountain, said the creative sage. Everything has its pros and cons. The power of creation is also divided into good and evil. The previous red power of creation is the power of evil. Then what kind of creative power you got back then? Chen Shang asked. It's both right and evil. The creative sage replied. Evil, Kalian said affirmatively, because after absorbing those creative powers, most people or creatures eventually became prisoners of the ancient demon. The creative sage is silent. We obtained those creative powers back then, but we have been tortured to the present. Kalian said again, so we must beware of the creative powers in front of us. In Shen Zhang's view, no matter what kind of power he has in creating the world, he has to use the Aoshi Shen furnace to refine it for a while. He used the Aoshi Shen furnace to refine these things, and it also played a role in purification. Leonor, is your cosmic fate here? Chen Shang asked. I'm not sure, maybe part of it is here. Kalian said, after my cosmic destiny left me, maybe she has grown up. I don't know if that is still my cosmic destiny. Part of it, can the universe's fate be divided? Chen Shang asked in surprise. The little girl's cultivation of Tianmu Wanshiju may also affect her cosmic fate. Chuangdao sage said. For many years, Kalian has split her own soul to practice the clone. If her cosmic fate is affected, she might split into many parts too. Chen Shang used a big head, and finally found Kalian's cosmic fate, but now he tells him that it's only a small part. This should be the most core part. Kalian said again, I can feel it. Chen Shang controlled the 6 magic mirrors to move closer to the past. You know, they were attacked by a shower of arrows before, so Chen Shang is also very careful now. Someone is flying here, Chen Shang suddenly whispered. Everyone is ready to fight. Sure enough, dozens of people flew over in front of them, all of them wearing uniform white clothes, looking like a fairy spirit, exuding the same crystal white light as the white crystal giant mountain. After they approached, they found that their temperament was very cold, and their skin was jade. Regardless of men and women, their body types were slender and tall. After they flew over, they hovered in front of Chen Shang. As the person who came are the sages of Chuangdao and the sage of the Heavenly Mother. The leading woman with an oval face asked in a cold voice, and then looked at Kalian and the sages of Chuangdao. The old man is the creative sage. Seeing these people, the creative sage also appeared very polite. Then the leading woman in white looked at Kalian and asked, "Who is the Holy Mother of Heaven?" "I am the reincarnation of the Heavenly Mother Sage, but I am no longer the former Heavenly Mother Sage. My name is Kalian now," Kalian said. Kalian has 3 personalities. Among them, the Leonar personality is the same as that of Emperor Lian, so they are all Kalian. Compared with Kalian, Tianmu's personality is relatively weaker, so now Kalian is indeed dominant. She doesn't think that she is a sage of Tianmu, which makes sense. In any case, you have ever received the power of creation that we have given, then you are the sage of the Heavenly Mother. The woman said, "We have already calculated that you will come today." "Who on earth are you?" Kalian asked. "Didn't I just say that? The reason why you got the power of creation is what we bestowed." The white-clothed woman frowned slightly, her voice getting colder. "Everyone, where is this place?" asked the Chuangdao sage. "This is the place where Wanzhou originated," the white-clothed woman said coldly. "The cosmic divine sea is just the tip of the iceberg of Wanzhou. For us Wanzhou Mountain, it is just a small pond." Chen Shang had been watching quietly by the side, because the woman in white couldn't see through him, so he felt that the strength of Wanzhou Mountain was not very good. "Then the universe divine sea was destroyed by you?" Chuangdao sage asked. "Naturally not. We never cared about that kind of place. But it is our territory," said the white-clothed woman. "And you, if you can survive the cosmic divine sea, and come here, you can also be considered to have passed 10,000. Joshana's assessment. Assessment. Kalian and Chuangdao sages are startled. They have lived here for so many years, but they are only for assessment. Is it an entry assessment? What is this? Don't be too surprised. Although you are sages in the cosmic sea of AA gods, there are as many as 10,000 sages in Wanzhou Mountain." The white-clothed woman said again. Chen Shang secretly communicated to Kalian, saying, "Leonar, you have part of the cosmic destiny right here, and they must have nothing to tell you. You must remember the formation of the cosmic destiny in these so-called creations. It doesn't matter to Li Wanzhou Mountain." Kalian naturally remembered that they were here to find the fate of the universe. "By the way, we once encountered a huge mountain of blood crystals on our way here. What is that?" Chen Shang said suddenly. "Who are you?" The white-clothed woman raised her eyebrows and said coldly, "You are not worthy to talk to me, waiting for the ants." "That's what we want to ask." Chuangdao sage quickly relieved. "No comment." The white-clothed woman said coldly, "Remember, I am responsible for the management of sages in Wanzhou Mountain, and the title is Heavenly Sage Lord. What you see at this time is just a strand of my hair. Change. Please come with me," Heavenly Sage Lord said coldly. "You are only allowed to enter Wanzhou Mountain." Kalian was very reluctant, but Chen Shang secretly spoke to her and asked her and the sages of Chuangdao to enter the Wanzhou Mountain to investigate the situation. He would find a way to get in. Afterwards, the sages of creation and Kalian followed the sage of Tianxian into the domain of Wanzhou Mountain. After they entered, they soon disappeared. Do you like this site? Donate here. World Defying Dan God Chapter 4652, Test of Good and Evil. The white mist in front of Chen Shang gradually thickened again, and Wanzhou Mountain just disappeared into the white mist. He took the 6 divine mirrors and slowly flew over, and at the same time released his powerful spiritual knowledge, to check whether there was an enchantment in front of him. After investigation, he found nothing, no barriers to stop him. They are too confident, aren't there in the connection world? After Chen Shang became invisible, he accelerated the flight speed of the 6 magic mirrors and entered the thick white fog. After entering, he flew for a certain distance, there was still nothing in front of him, and then he continued to fly. After flying for 2 full days, he finally saw the light appearing ahead, and he finally flew out of a thick white mist. But after flying out, there is a green forest ahead. He didn't see the Wanzhou Mountain, he seemed to have just passed through the thick white fog. And Wanzhou Mountain is not in the thick fog. Good fellow, this method is really brilliant. Chen Shang looked back, and he now realized that Wanzhou Mountain was not as easy to sneak in as he thought. Is it hidden in a space? Chen Shang frowned, and then let the 6 magic mirrors perceive it. Sister Xiaojing didn't perceive it. Brother, Wanzhou Mountain is too detached and can't be understood by our cognition. Little Mirror said, this is troublesome. If you can't get in, if the creative sage and Leonor are in danger, what shall we do? Do it. Why is Leonor's cosmic destiny in this direction? Chen Shang thought, touching his chin, why would Wanzhou Mountain take Leonor's cosmic destiny? Brother, do you remember that when approaching Wanzhou Mountain, there was a lot of arrow rain suddenly? Sister Xiaojing asked suddenly. Remember. Chen Shang nodded. That kind of arrow rain should not be the defense of Wanzhou Mountain. Wanzhou Mountain is so powerful, and the power of arrow rain is so weak, it doesn't seem to be from Wanzhou Mountain at all. Is there someone else nearby? When they attacked you, they mistook you for the people of Wanzhou Mountain. Sister Xiaojing guessed. It's very possible. Chen Shang sat on the 6 Dao mirror for a while and said, otherwise, let's expose ourselves and see if we can bring out the guys who are shooting the dark arrows. Wanzhou Mountain is so powerful, but there are enemies outside that are ambushing Wanzhou Mountain. That shows that Wanzhou Mountain has enemies and must know Wanzhou Mountain well. I'll try to see if I can get in touch with Leonor. Chen Shang said, I hope Leonor can maintain a tacit understanding with me. Chen Shang has another trick, maybe he can get in touch with Kalian. That is Fang Qing and her wives, they are all the clones of Kalian, and in this place, they are not too far away from Kalian, maybe they can be contacted. The premise is that Kalian needs to keep sending them messages. Qinger, you and your ladies, can you enter your illusion of lost souls together? I need to contact my friend. Chen Shang said suddenly. Big brother Shen, I'll try it. Fang Qing lived very comfortably in the 6 Dao mirror, and she didn't even want to leave the 6 Dao mirror. Because for them, as long as they can live steadily, that is the best. Kalian had entered the 6 magic mirrors before, but she didn't face Fang Qing directly, she kept avoiding them. Although she has been summoning her own clones, she is not ready to meet and communicate with them. Chen Shang believes that Kalian is worried that after meeting, she will affect the independent personality and thoughts that occur, and is worried that her memory will be synchronized with the clone. Once the memories are synchronized, the future thoughts of the clone will definitely be greatly impacted. Not long after, news came from Fang Qing. Big brother Shen, the sister Kalian said that they are safe in Wanzhou Mountain, so don't worry. Fang Qing's voice came. Ask her, how can I enter Wanzhou Mountain? Chen Shang was relieved, but still worried. After a while, Fang Qing said, Sister Kalian said that it is difficult to enter Wanzhou Mountain. She doesn't know how to get in now. Also, she said that she has a part of the universe lifestyle, which is in Wanzhou Mountain, but only a small part. Most of her cosmic fate is still in other parts of the southern fallen forest. You tell her, I will find a way to find other cosmic fate. Chen Shang said. Fang Qing also relayed Chen Zhang's words to Kalian. Chen Shang is not invisible anymore, so he just flies around outside the white fog area in the 6 magic mirrors, waiting for the arrow rain to attack. He has been around outside for several days without any movement. Just when he was about to give up, he suddenly felt the breath of arrow rain, but the arrow rain was not directed at him, but at several red lights in the distance. When Chen Shang saw those red lights, he raised his brows and immediately became invisible, because in those red lights, there are the sages of Yishan. The sages of Yishan finally chased this place, and they were also locked in by the rain of arrows. Could it be that those arrow rains are really the self-defense of Wanzhou Mountain? Chen Shang was even more puzzled, so why didn't he attack him in the past few days? Do you look down on me? Chen Shang did feel from the heavenly sage Saint Lord that he was a waste in her eyes, and he was not even qualified to talk to her. Chen Shang cautiously approached the sage Yishan and the others. In his opinion, there must be some connection between the Blood Crystal Giant Mountain and Wanzhou Mountain. If you hide from the side and take a look, maybe you will gain something. After that burst of arrows came out, the sages of Yishan and the others could only use their creation power to resist. This time the arrow rain was even more terrifying than what Chen Shang and the others had encountered before, but the sage Yishan and the others blocked it. Meet the sage god, Yishan sage see you. Sage of heaven's punishment, please see you. The two of them came to know about Wanzhou Mountain and Heavenly Sage Lord. After they finished speaking, the arrow rain continued to shoot out. It wasn't until Wanzhou Mountain gradually appeared that the arrow rain stopped. Chen Shang hid and watched. He still didn't think that the arrow rain belonged to Wanzhou Mountain. Now it suddenly stopped, as if blocked by some force. Not long after, the cold voice of the Heavenly Sage Lord came out, "Please wait 3 days." After speaking, Wanzhou Mountain once again disappeared in the white mist. At this time, Red Devil Lei Zun whispered, "You said, Wanzhou Mountain will accept me." "Definitely. You have absorbed a lot of creative power after all," said the Heavenly Punishment Sage. "Wanzhou Mountain releases various types of creative power, as long as it can absorb and merge, they will accept it. Sages of Creation Tao and Sages of Heavenly Mother are really damn. They didn't absorb the red creation power." The Sage of Heaven Punishment cursed in a low voice. "If they also absorb the red creation power, then they would be as inferior as we are. We failed. After passing this level of test, after entering Wanzhou Mountain, your status will only be lower than them." Chen Shang was secretly surprised, but he didn't expect that the red power of creation would be a test. World Defying Dan God Chapter 4653, Fallen Heart Lord. Chen Shang looked at the Heavenly Punishment Sages and the Yishan Sages from a distance, and was deeply moved. These people are all figures who used to dominate the universe of the gods. When they gained the power of creation many years ago, they were already played by others. Between the palms. You must know that powerful forces such as the 6 soul races and 6 soul palace that had tossed Chen Shang intolerably were all born under the influence of the Sages of Yishan and the Sage of Punishment. However, the Sages of Heavenly Punishment and the Sages of Yishan were arranged clearly from the beginning. Chen Shang used to fall into contemplation. He had been sealed for 100,000 years before, and during the growth of Aoshi universe, even the 6 fate soul races could not influence and interfere with the growth of Aoshi universe. Therefore, Aoshi universe has not been controlled by other people so far. Even Wanzhou Mountain cannot fully control Aoshi universe. No one in Chen Shang knows how Aoshi universe has become, because Tianmu Shengwang and Aoshi universe are separated. The forces of the 6 fate soul races and the 6 soul palace are indeed very powerful in Aoshi universe, but they will also enter the Heavenly Mother's sacred desolation one after another. Chen Shang didn't know how many years had passed since Aoshi universe. After he entered the Heavenly Mother's sacred wilderness before, he could feel that the time was different. And Wanzhou Mountain is in the Heavenly Mother's sacred desolate, and the Heavenly Mother's sacred desolate is in the Aoshi universe, then is Wanzhou Mountain the mastermind behind the planning of the Heavenly Mother's sacred desolation. Chen Shang just wanted to quickly find Kalian's cosmic fate, and then find Shui Shenxian and others, and leave Tianmu Shengwang as soon as possible. The water of the Heavenly Mother's Saint Wilderness is too deep, and Chen Shang is worried that if he continues to explore, there will be no turning back. Chen Shang waited outside Wanzhou Mountain for 3 days, the thick fog dispersed again, and the extremely magnificent white crystal mountain appeared. Seeing the reappearance of Wanzhou Mountain, the sages of Yishan and others were extremely excited. Chen Shang also concealed as much as possible, because the Heavenly Sage Lord might come out, he didn't want to be perceived by the Heavenly Lord. Not long after, someone came out, not the sage god, but a coquettish man in red clothes. Yes, this man has a slim body, fair skin like jade, and a voluptuous posture. When the gods and sages see this man, they can't help but feel terrified. "Are you finally here?" This coquettish man seemed to be in a bad mood, and he also seemed to know the sages of heaven's punishment. "Is it the Saint Lord of Fallen Heart?" the Heavenly Punishment Sage asked in a low voice after bowing and saluting. "Exactly. You still have a face." The Fallen Heart Sacred Master snorted. Seeing him angry, the sage Yishan and others trembled all over. Although they were all suspended in the air, they immediately bowed down to worship the fallen-hearted Lord. "Get up," the Fallen Heart Sage said coldly. "I will give you a chance to make up for it." "Master Fallen Heart Saint Lord, we will definitely accomplish a good task," the Heavenly Punishment Saint said in horror. "Originally, you almost succeeded in letting the sages of creation and the Mother of Heaven fall. If they smoothly integrate the power of creation of Fallen Heart, then they will become one of us. They are all very qualified." Sage of Fallen Heart, the Lord said with regret, "but now, it's cheaper than the Heavenly Sage Lord." Chen Shang understood a little bit. The blood crystal giant mountain was used by the Fallen Heart Saint Lord to test people's hearts. If you can resist the red power of creation and come to Wan Beast Mountain smoothly, Then you can worship the heavenly sage Saint Lord. Now it seems that it is obviously better under the sect of Tianxian Holy Master. Holy Lord, we have explained before that we have been blocked. Had it not been for the variable named Chen Shang, the heavenly mother sages and creation sages would have fallen. Yishan sage said quickly, this person has made repeated attempts. I rescued the sages of Chuangdao this time, and also took away a large amount of degenerate creation power. For such a big change, please take care of the Lord. Shen Shang, outside of the southern fallen forest, destroyed many sects from the cosmic divine sea. And he can also control the power of creation. He must be a big variable. The heavenly punishment sage also said. He used to release a huge soul power. Red Devil Lei Zun also continued. Chen Shang, this person is really so powerful. According to the information I have, when the sages of creation and the Mother of Heaven came to Wan Beast Mountain, there was indeed a man. But that man was very weak and he did not have the power of creation. The fallen heart Saint Lord also began to care about Chen Shang. He knew that the heavenly punishment sages and others in front of him did not dare to lie to him, so Chen Shang must exist. This kind of person is indeed a variable. Maybe, he is nearby. The heavenly punishment sage looked around. He just finished speaking, the long black hair of fallen heart Saint Lord suddenly danced wildly, and then turned blood red. Immediately afterwards, his red hair suddenly flashed a red glow, and quickly extended to the surroundings. In the blink of an eye, his hair formed a field, covering a large area outside Wanzhou Mountain. Chen Shang was dumbfounded. This kind of field is so powerful that it is not built by energy, but by a substantial thing like hair. In other words, in this field, he can't hide at all. Sure enough, someone is here. I really left, I can escape my divine sense. The fallen heart saint immediately locked onto Chen Shang, then looked in the direction of Chen Shang, and shouted, "You are Chen Shang, right? Come out." "Okay, I promise I won't do it against you." Chen Shang hesitated for a moment, and then asked Sister Xiao Jing to be ready to explode the Aoshi universe map at any time. "Can't you believe me?" the fallen heart saint said coldly. Chen Shang wanted to run. After all, this fallen heart saint was related to that blood crystal giant mountain. It didn't look like a good thing at all. "You are hiding near Wanzhou Mountain, and you must be very curious about Wanzhou Mountain. Although you don't know what kind of existence you are, but I am sure that you have a deep understanding of the universe, so it is impossible for you to have a deep understanding of the universe." "Not curious," the fallen heart sage said. "I heard that you have been reprimanded by the heavenly sage. She despises you and does not allow you to enter Wanzhou Mountain, right? And I can take you into the universe mountain." Chen Shang had always wanted to get into Wanzhou Mountain, but because there was no way to get in, he had to give up, planning to find other parts of Kalian's cosmic fate. But right now, there is a rare opportunity, but it requires a gamble. He calculated it and thought that it would not be difficult to rush out of this hair field after the Aoshi universe map broke out, so he decided to try it in the past. Chen Shang immediately appeared, and held the 6 divine mirrors in a smaller size, slowly flying towards the fallen heart sage lord. Seeing Chen Zhang's appearance, the sages of Yishan and heavenly punishment were all blushing. It was this young and handsome person in front of them that caused them a lot of suffering. World Defying Dan God Chapter 4654, Another Day. The sages of Yishan felt that Chen Shang was dead, and they thought that Chen Shang shouldn't just run over like this. Chen Shang dared to come by himself, which was a very stupid behavior in their eyes. The fallen heart lord looked at Chen Shang, and his eyes gradually emitted a faint red light, as if he was spying on Chen Shang in a secret method. Chen Shang also opened his mind to look at the fallen heart saint lord in front of him, but he couldn't see anything. The fallen heart saint saw something, but it was all information of no value to him. He could see that Chen Xiang's cultivation base was not high. Although there were 2 soul seas, this kind of strength was in front of him. Not enough to see at all. However, he also felt very strange, because Chen Shang should not have 2 soul seas. You are not a member of the divine sea of the universe, and you have not gained the power of creation. The fallen heart saint said, but you have cultivated out of the sea of soul. You just said that you can take me into Wanzhou Mountain. Is this really true? Chen Shang asked. He didn't expect this to happen, and he was already planning to run away. Really? But I have conditions. The fallen heart sage glanced at them and continued, don't worry, I won't make excessive conditions. In the eyes of the fallen heart sage, Chen Shang is much more valuable than the sages of Yishan and the sages of heaven's punishment, because Chen Shang can help the creative sages to get rid of the red power of creation over and over again, which in itself is a very powerful ability. The fallen heart lord wanted to understand how Chen Shang helped the creative sages resist the red power of creation. Talk about it, Chen Shang said. The sages of Yishan and others are gritted their teeth at this moment, because they are really worried that they will become the subordinates of the fallen heart lord. With Chen Zhang's ability, once he becomes the subordinate of the fallen heart saint lord, he will definitely be valued. Then how will they get mixed up? You follow me. The fallen heart saint lord also suddenly put away his domain. His large red long hair danced wildly to form a domain before, and it was only an instant to take it back. After the hair of the fallen heart lord turned black, the whole person looked much more normal. His previous look, his hair became infinitely long, and it also wrapped a large area. It looked terrifying. Chen Shang followed the fallen heart lord and flew far away. Although he hadn't seen the cultivation status of the fallen heart lord just now, he could see that this person did not want to kill himself, and did not kill himself. I can take you into Wanzhou Mountain, but you have to help me seal the heavenly sage lord. The fallen heart sage said. This condition is not excessive, isn't it? Isn't this too much? The heavenly sage lord is so powerful, I don't know anything about her. As soon as you come up, you will ask me to help you seal her. Chen Shang shook his head again and again. This kind of thing is definitely not completed in a short time. The fallen heart said, I need someone who will not be affected by the power of creation to help me. Although your strength is low, you do not rely on the power of creation. But it can cultivate something similar to the soul sea. What is something similar to the soul sea? Chen Shang asked. He had discussed with Kalian and the Chuangdao sages before that the soul sea he cultivated by himself only looked like a soul sea, but it was not actually a soul sea. When I was investigating you just now, I found that there is something similar to the soul sea inside your soul. And the soul sea is generally endowed by the power of creation. Without the power of creation, it is impossible to cultivate out of the sea of a soul. The Holy Lord said. That's why I said that. Before I promise you, can I know what kind of person Tianxian Saint Lord is? Chen Shang asked. I have 2 friends with her, and I am very worried about my friends. The heavenly sage lord is my enemy. Of course, there is no righteousness or evil for people like us. Our various actions are admiring the different heavens. The fallen heart lord said. The other heavens give us enlightenment. We will start to act. Another day. Chen Shang frowned. Yes, even you are affected by the power of another heaven. For example, there is a curse in your body, that is, the power of another heaven is at work. Said the fallen heart saint lord. Isn't the curse in my body derived from the inheritance of the curse of the sage Yishan? Chen Zhang's heart moved. Since the fallen heart sage can see it, then maybe he can get rid of the curse. Lita S put it this way, the sage Yishan also understood the different heavens to master this curse. Of course, his mastery of the different heavens spell is very weak, but he can use the very weak power of the different heavens, so he will after this kind of curse is passed on, it is equivalent to planting seeds. Said the fallen heart saint lord. What then? The group of guys who cursed me don't even know what the power of another heaven is. Chen Shang said. This is where the power of another heaven is so powerful. Even if those people have never come into contact with the power of another heaven, they will have a connection with the other heaven by learning and mastering the related techniques. The power of heaven will take root in your body. What the hell? So, I have the power of another heaven in my body. Chen Shang said with horror. Or, my curse is the power of another heaven. When you curse you, the power of the different sky in your body is still very weak. But after many years, the power of the other sky will spread, so it will become stronger and stronger. Said the fallen heart lord. Your curse is difficult to solve, I can't solve it. Chen Shang was very annoyed by that other day. He had heard of the existence of another day before, but he didn't expect that he would have this kind of relationship with him. Well, continue to talk about the heavenly sage lord. Chen Shang said. I am worried about my friend. I want to know, will my friend be in any danger with her? I don't know. In short, whether it is she or me, to accept new sages here, it is only to manage them, and if necessary, let them sacrifice. The fallen heart sage said. For us, the sage, it's a tool. Wanzhou Mountain, how many saints like you are there? Chen Shang asked. I don't know. The fallen heart sacred master shook his head and said. Wanzhou Mountain is very large, and it is a space close to infinity. I and Tianxian Saint Lord are assigned to this door and are responsible for receiving incoming from this door. Sage. Wanzhou Mountain is close to infinity. Chen Shang was shocked. Wouldn't it be bigger than a universe? What is hidden inside this mountain? The southern fallen forest is indeed a space. It should be that after Wanzhou Mountain opened the door, it opened up a field outside the door, so the southern fallen forest and the Heavenly Mother's sacred wilderness were formed. Will the door opened by Wanzhou Mountain connect to this proud universe? Chen Shang asked again. Of course we must connect this universe. This universe is very strange. The mission of the Heavenly Sage Saint Master and I is to explore the situation of this universe and, if necessary, to purify this universe. Said the Fallen Heart Saint Master. World Defying Dan God Chapter 4655, Holy Lord Competition. Chen Shang had no reaction on the surface, but his heart was greatly shocked. He didn't know what the situation of Wanzhou Mountain was now, but if Wanzhou Mountain really wanted to destroy Aoshi Universe, he couldn't stop it at all. You Wanzhou Mountain, are you also in Aoshi Universe now? Chen Shang asked. Yes or not, said the Fallen Heart Saint Lord. In short, Wanzhou Mountain and Aoshi Universe have a very close connection. Chen Shang was shocked. In his opinion, Wanzhou Mountain might hide some weakness, otherwise it would appear in the southern fallen forest of the Heavenly Mother's sacred wilderness in this state, and it seemed to be related to Aoshi Universe. He just wanted to quickly help Kalian find the cosmic fate, and then leave the Heavenly Mother's sacred wilderness as soon as possible and return to the Saint Profound Star. Sheng Zonxing has the Heart Palace of Proud Universe, he has to go back and watch it more closely. Furthermore, he has to figure out why Wanzhou Mountain has taken away Kalian's cosmic fate. With your help, I will be able to seal the Heavenly Sage Lord. The Fallen Heart Lord said. After the thing is done, I will give you a generous reward. Is there any danger? Chen Shang asked. There must be danger. Once my plan starts, not only you, even me will be in danger. The Fallen Heart Sage said very seriously. I must seal the Heavenly Sage as soon as possible, or I will be sealed. It is me. You two are in a competitive relationship. Chen Shang was curious, and said, you obviously belong to Wanzhou Mountain. Has the contradiction between you reached the point where it cannot be reconciled? HMPH, the Blood Crystal Sacred Mountain was assigned to me. This shattered thing specifically attracts some waste, and the people I eventually recruit are just a bunch of waste. The Fallen Heart Sage snorted coldly. Escape from the Blood Crystal Sacred Mountain. Those who come out are all sages with good qualifications, I just help them choose better sages. So what, are these sages not all from Wanzhou Mountain? What do you want so many powerful sages to do? Is it because you have to constantly compete with the sages to fail? Chen Shang felt very strange, why these people can't unite? If my subordinates are very weak, then I won't be able to obtain resources at all, and my cultivation base will fall behind. Said the Fallen Heart Saint Lord. Once my cultivation base can't keep up, I won't be able to pass the assessment of Wanzhou Mountain, then I will become a cultivation resource for others. What, become someone else's cultivation resource? Chen Shang asked with a look of surprise. To put it simply, if I cannot pass the assessment of Wanzhou Mountain, I will be rolled into a ball by someone using a method, and then eaten by the Holy Master who passed the assessment. The Fallen Heart Saint Lord closed his eyes and took a deep breath. In a tone, he said, I almost couldn't pass the test before. I can see that he is very scared now, very worried that this kind of thing will happen again. If you seal the Heavenly Sage Lord, will Wanzhou Mountain be blamed? Chen Shang guessed that if it fails the assessment, it will become a material for alchemy, which is really terrifying when you think about it. I don't know, anyway, I must restrict her now. The Fallen Heart Saint said. I can only fight to the death. Chen Shang looked at the sage Yishan and others in the distance, and whispered, they are all my enemies. I know you have a contradiction with them. But they are also sages, and they have successfully integrated the power of creation. Besides, you killed a lot of me before. Do you still want to kill these people? The Holy Lord said. If they are gone, then no one under me will be available. Are you so miserable? In so many years, you haven't accepted a few sages. Chen Shang was speechless. I have received it, there are dozens of them. But they were all killed by the Heavenly Sage Lord. The Fallen Heart Lord said angrily. If I prove that I am far more valuable than a few of them, can I kill them? Chen Shang said. He will never allow the sage Yishan to live. In his opinion, the sage Yishan hides a lot of potential, which even the Fallen Heart Saint Lord has not seen. The sage Yishan hid deeply, and Chen Shang only vaguely had this intuition, and he also believed in his own intuition. So, are you willing to join me? The fallen heart saint asked. I didn't worship you, but cooperate with you. Otherwise, if I can help you get resources, then there is no need to seal the heavenly sage lord, right? Shen Shang said. That's not bad, but can you do it? The fallen heart saint lord didn't believe it. Try it, Chen Shang said. If you prove your worth, those few people will do whatever you want. Said the fallen heart saint lord. Chen Shang wants to enter Wanzhou Mountain and figure out the relationship between Wanzhou Mountain and Aoshi Universe. In his opinion, Wanzhou Mountain should be connected to Aoshi Universe, but it is not entirely in Aoshi Universe. He wanted to find a way to cut off the connection between Wanzhou Mountain and Aoshi Universe, so as not to be harmed by Wanzhou Mountain. As soon as the Fallen Heart Holy Master waved his hand, several groups of red creation power flew in. Chen Shang was startled when he saw these red creations, and frowned. Do you want me to absorb these creation powers? It's just that you enter inside. I have to use this method to bring you into Wanzhou Mountain. Said the Fallen Heart Saint Lord. Chen Shang entered the large group of red creativity. The sages of Yishan and they all entered the creative power that flew in front of them one after another, and they were still a little excited. The Fallen Heart Saint told them that Chen Shang had been subdued by him, so they should not be wary of Chen Shang. The sages of Yishan and the others said they were right on the surface, but they wanted to kill Chen Shang in their hearts. Everyone could tell that the Saint of the Fallen Heart attached great importance to Chen Shang. And they were also worried that after entering Wanzhou Mountain, Chen Shang would find ways to fight against them. After Chen Shang and the others entered the red power of creation, they floated up, and then flew to Wanzhou Mountain with the Fallen Heart Lord. As he flew past, Chen Shang suddenly sensed a spatial fluctuation and passed through the spatial channel. In the blink of an eye, they appeared in a spacious lobby with walls like ice and snow. Come with me, said the Fallen Heart Saint Lord, and then walked out of the lobby door and turned into a walkway. Wanzhou Mountain is snow white from the outside, and the inside looks like ice and snow. Chen Shang stayed shoulder to shoulder with the Fallen Heart Sage along the way, did not talk to the Sage Yishan and the others, and they could only follow behind. The Fallen Heart Saint took Chen Shang and the others to another spacious lobby, where there are also many teleportation formations. Then a few young people in red came over. The Fallen Heart Saint Lord ordered them to receive the Sage Yishan and the others, and he personally took Chen Shang into a teleportation formation and teleported away. Chen Shang came to the residence of the Fallen Heart Saint Lord. Is this inside Wanzhou Mountain? Chen Shang asked. Yes, there is a lot of space inside Wanzhou Mountain. The Fallen Heart Saint said, and some space is a universe, or a star field. World Defying Dan God Chapter 4656, The Role of Fate. I thought Wanzhou Mountain was just a mountain. It turned out that the mountain was just an appearance. Chen Shang is now very worried about Aoshi Universe. Since Wanzhou Mountain is so huge inside, it is certainly not a problem to accommodate an Aoshi Universe, which means that Wanzhou Mountain can swallow the Aoshi Universe. Holy Lord of Fallen Heart, how many universes are there in Wanzhou Mountain? Chen Shang asked. I don't know. Wanzhou Mountain is too big, its operation is very complicated, and there are many forces involved. I am only responsible for managing a small part. The Fallen Heart Saint said. No one can figure out how big Wanzhou Mountain is. The mountain is expanding all the time. So what about the previous Blood Crystal Mountain? Is there room inside too? Chen Shang asked. No, that mountain is just a small part of the residue that fell from Wanzhou Mountain. Then it was handed over to me to be placed outside to assess the sages who came. The sages who passed the assessment will finally arrive at Wanzhou Mountain and be Heavenly Sage Holy Master accepts. Fallen Heart Holy Master said. In other words, the saints who can't resist the temptation of the Blood Crystal Giant Mountain are all accepted by you. Chen Shang suddenly understood why the Fallen Heart Saint hates the Heavenly Saints so much. Not bad. The Fallen Heart Sage sighed. The sages of Yishan are so useless, they didn't pull the sages of Chuangdao into the water. After speaking, he looked at Chen Shang, because the sage Yishan and the others had said that it was Chen Shang that blocked it. He didn't ask Chen Shang about the specifics. Although he was very curious about it, he didn't want to know. I remember that when the sages of Yishan and the others came to Wanzhou Mountain before, they were going to see the sage of Tianxian. The sages of Yishan, did they know the sage of Tianxian? Chen Shang frowned. At that time I was hiding next to him. So I heard the Lord Tianxian respond to them, let them wait for 3 days, and then they will wait until you show up. What you said is true? The Fallen Heart Saint Lord asked with some unbelief. Chen Shang looked at the Fallen Heart Saint Lord, and when he saw his demon and beautiful white face, he gradually became angry. It's true. Although I want to kill them, I don't have to lie to you about this kind of thing. Chen Shang said, I didn't frame them. I just want to know, why did they know the Heavenly Sage Lord? Afterwards, Chen Shang described the scene of the sage Yishan and the others coming to Wanzhou Mountain. After listening to this, the Fallen Heart Sage slapped a strong palm on the table, crushing a black solid table. What's the matter? Chen Shang asked. Sage Lord Tianxian must have been in contact with them by some means. Saint Fallen Heart said coldly, this means that the sage Yishan and the others are very likely to be the undercover arranged by the Holy Lord Tianxian. What? But they were too careless. Even if they shout directly outside Wanzhou Mountain. Chen Shang frowned and said, isn't this when you don't exist? If it weren't for you to tell me, I wouldn't know about it at all. The Fallen Heart Sage said coldly, I miscalculated. I didn't expect that the Heavenly Sage would attack me one step in advance. She has already begun to make arrangements. I'm a step slower. Wait, does the Heavenly Sage violate your Wanzhou Mountain rules? Because she has contacted the Yishan sages. Chen Shang said, Yishan sages and the others have already come to your door. She did this, didn't she? Crossing the line. No, she has the absolute priority to choose the sages. So it is normal for her to contact the sages of Yishan in advance. The Fallen Heart Sage clenched his fists and gritted his teeth and said, Sage Tian has done this step, then don't blame me. The battle between these holy masters was so fierce that Chen Shang was very surprised, and it looked like he wanted you to die. Then Heavenly Sage Saint Lord must know that you accepted me. Chen Shang said again. Not bad, said the Fallen Heart Sage. Maybe, the Heavenly Sage will give an order to the Yishan sage to let them kill you. Or, find a chance to test the sages of Yishan and the others. Chen Shang said, let's make a game and let them jump in by themselves. I'll be the bait. No, it's too dangerous. I can't believe anyone but you now. Fallen Heart Saint Lord looked at Chen Shang sincerely. Chen Shang felt a bit funny, this Fallen Heart Saint Lord is too miserable, there is no other person around him who can be trusted. If he is noticed by the Heavenly Sage Lord, Chen Shang must also be prepared. The Heavenly Sage Lord will eradicate the Fallen Heart Lord, and he will now follow the Fallen Heart Lord, and he will definitely become a target. Holy Lord of Fallen Heart, have you ever heard of the fate of the universe? Chen Shang asked. I've heard that, what's the matter? The Fallen Heart's eyes suddenly lit up, a little excited, and asked, do you know who has the fate of the universe? What happens if there is a cosmic fate? Chen Shang did not say, but he has realized that even the Fallen Heart Saint Lord is very concerned about the cosmic fate. Let's put it this way, the cosmic divine sea that was destroyed by us before has so many universes, but for so many years, only one universe can nurture the cosmic fate, so Wanzhou Mountain can only destroy that universe. Heart Saint Lord said. What? The universe Shanhai was killed for this reason? Chen Shang was surprised. The universe of gods is equivalent to the fruit tree we planted, but after so many years, only one fruit has appeared, which wastes a lot of our resources. So we can only shovel this tree and plant another one, said the Lord. Chen Shang immediately thought of the Tianmu universe, that is, the universe of Kalian. Then what? Chen Shang asked. The cosmic fate is very important to Wanzhou Mountain. I don't know exactly why now, my status is relatively low. I can't access this kind of secret, said the Fallen Heart Saint Lord. Chen Shang was even more worried about Kalian. Wanzhou Mountain was very eager to obtain the cosmic fate. It seems that she has not fully obtained the cosmic fate of Kalian, but only a part of it, and a lot of it is scattered on the Heavenly Mother Sacred Wilderness. He suddenly realized the power of the cosmic fate. Even a huge existence like Wanzhou Mountain could not collect Chi Kalian's cosmic fate. Obviously, the cosmic fate was resisting Wanzhou Mountain. The Heavenly Mother Sage received by the Heavenly Sage Lord, she came from the universe, and has the cosmic fate. That Heavenly Mother Sage once had the cosmic fate but was stripped away. The Fallen Heart Sage said. Back then, with a little bit of creative power, she took the life of the universe from her. Wanzhou Mountain is really profitable. Chen Shang was a little angry. Isn't this bullying Kalian and not understanding the fate of the universe? Then is it possible for her to regain the life of the universe? Chen Shang asked. I don't know, maybe she joined Wanzhou Mountain, so she won't care about this. The Fallen Heart Saint said. In short, the universe fate is very important to Wanzhou Mountain. I have been for many years. I have always wanted to understand the role of the universe's fate. World Defying Dan God Chapter 4657, How to Become Stronger. After Chen Shang heard this news from the Fallen Heart Saint Lord, he was immediately worried, because he himself was a person with a cosmic fate. And the sages of Yishan and the sage of the punishment, they all know that Chen Shang has the fate of the universe, and this group of people is very likely to tell the sage of the heavens and the sage of the fallen heart. Chen Shang thought for a while, and suddenly felt that the sage Yishan and the others didn't talk about it. They must know the importance of the fate of the universe, so why didn't they tell the Fallen Heart Saint and the Heavenly Saint Lord? If the Heavenly Sage Lord knows that Chen Shang possesses the fate of the universe, then she must have another attitude towards Chen Shang. Holy Lord of Fallen Heart, how would Wanzhou Mountain generally deal with people with cosmic fate? Chen Shang asked. I will definitely catch this person, and then send this person to a place in Wanzhou Mountain, and let the people there decide. The Fallen Heart Saint said. Actually, I don't know the specific process. We can get rewards for turning in this kind of person. Chen Shang secretly guessed that the sages of Yishan and the others did not say about it. It is most likely that they wanted to swallow the fate of the universe. Kalian's cosmic fate can be divided into several parts. The sages of Yishan and the others can indeed share a cosmic fate, so they agreed to conceal this matter, which is also normal. Originally, Chen Shang was only planning to mix into Wanzhou Mountain first, and then slowly clean up the sages of Yishan. And now, in order to prevent the sage Yishan from speaking out, Chen Shang must do it quickly. The Fallen Heart Lord now seems to be very sincere to cooperate, but if you know that Chen Shang has a cosmic fate, then maybe it is another attitude. In order to obtain resources, maybe he will immediately catch Chen Shang and hand it in. Yishan sages lurking by your side, do they pose any threat to you? Chen Shang asked. If there is a threat, we must pay attention to it. Sage Lord Tianxian, this **** is very sinister. I still don't understand what he plans to put these people around me, but it must be to insult me. The Fallen Heart Lord felt very angry when he mentioned this matter. We still can't be sure. The sages of Yishan and the sages really fell to the side of the sage of Zhe Tianxian, they have to confirm it. Chen Shang said. You are short of manpower now, it is better to be more cautious, but you can't lose them in vain. Quote. I will confirm it, the Fallen Heart Saint said. You don't have to worry about this matter. Then what do I need to do? Chen Shang asked. You have to become stronger. You are still too weak now, you must have a certain strength to join hands with us to seal the Heavenly Sage Lord. Said the Fallen Heart Lord. Of course Chen Shang wanted to become stronger, but it was difficult because he still couldn't cultivate a new soul sea. He had cultivated the third soul sea before, but because he absorbed the power of the cursed spirit mutated and his third soul sea gradually dissipated. It can be said that his cultivation has gone backwards a bit. Especially now, his third soul sea is completely gone, he can't perceive it at all. I also want to become stronger, but my practice is very special. I am from Aoshi Universe, and my cultivation method is restricted by Aoshi Universe. Chen Shang said, even if I am in Wanzhou Mountain at this time, I can still feel that kind of practice law. Yes, in Wanzhou Mountain, Chen Shang can indeed perceive the 6 principles of cultivation. He can only follow the 6 principles of cultivation and improve the 6 cultivation bases. But without the soul sea, the 6 cultivation bases can be improved very limited. You need creation power, said the Fallen Heart Sage Master. The so-called soul sea cultivation is actually the fusion of a kind of creation power. That kind of creation power is the soul sea, which can open up the soul and allow the soul to hold stronger strength. In this way, am I being controlled by others? The soul sea obtained in this way will have to pay a certain price, right? Chen Shang shook his head. You really need to pay a price to reach a deal with Wanzhou Mountain. Wanzhou Mountain opens up your soul sea, you gain powerful power, and then give back to Wanzhou Mountain. The Fallen Heart Saint said, we are here, it's all like this. Cultivating. Trading with Wanzhou Mountain, or dealing with someone in Wanzhou Mountain. Chen Shang heard a little confused. It's trading with Wanzhou Mountain. All the power of creation is cultivated by Wanzhou Mountain, said the Fallen Heart Saint Lord. This is really incredible. Chen Shang frowned. Then I can't make this kind of transaction. No, How can you become stronger? The Fallen Heart Lord said coldly, all spirits in the universe have their own limits. When the power reaches the limit, it can only be broken through by Wanzhou Mountain. How did the creation power of Wanzhou Mountain come from? Chen Shang wanted to figure out how Wanzhou Mountain worked. Wanzhou Mountain cultivated its own creation power, and then lent it to us. We give back to Wanzhou Mountain in different ways, forming a cycle. The Fallen Heart Saint said, there is a loan and a repayment, this kind of transaction is fair. Unfair. Chen Shang shook his head and said, Wanzhou Mountain will lend you its power to help you open up the Soul Sea. Logically speaking, your Soul Sea should belong to you. But your Soul Sea is still the same as Wanzhou Mountain. There is a certain connection. It may be taken back at any time. The Fallen Heart Lord listened and remained silent. If it is really a fair deal, then this deal should have a beginning and an end. However, what you call back to Wanzhou Mountain is permanent. If Wanzhou Mountain forcibly recovers the power of creation in your body, can you resist? Chen Shang said. Once you trade with Wanzhou Mountain, you will become a slave to Wanzhou Mountain, and you will live forever, and you will not be able to escape from Wanzhou Mountain. The Fallen Heart Saint Lord had also thought about it, but he did not dare to think deeply. Then what do you want to do? Said the Fallen Heart Saint Lord. Wanzhou Mountain has given us a powerful force to make us immortal. We pay some price, but in fact, we can accept it. The creation power of Wanzhou Mountain cannot appear out of thin air. Chen Shang said. It seems that Wanzhou Mountain has completely occupied the source of the creation power, causing other creatures to be unable to absorb it and want to absorb the creation power. Then you have to pass Wanzhou Mountain. What then? The Fallen Heart Saint just wanted to know how to become stronger without passing through Wanzhou Mountain. That is to say, the creation power of Wanzhou Mountain originally belongs to countless creatures. Chen Shang said. Our so-called power limitation is only caused by the inability to absorb the creation power. And the creation power is by Wanzhou has been sealed off, and Wanzhou has locked up our upper limit. Chen Shang said that there is a certain basis for this speculation, because he had practiced the power of creation, and he had indeed erased the consciousness of the power of creation, and then obtained pure creation power. Are you a person of proud universe? The Fallen Heart Saint asked. Yes, Chen Shang said. Then you are in Aoshi universe, you are definitely not a simple character. The Fallen Heart Sage said. No wonder you can play Yishan sages and the others round and round, make them angry and there is nothing to do. The Fallen Heart Sage realized that Chen Shang must have a great background. World Defying Dan God Chapter 4658, Creation Liquid. I don't have a big background, I just have a deeper understanding of various power laws. Chen Shang smiled and said, actually, I am an alchemist. Alchemy is what I am best at. Chen Shang didn't want the Fallen Heart Saint Lord to think too much about it, lest he go to the sage Yishan and the others to dig into the roots, and then know that he has the cosmic fate. That would be bad. You still haven't answered my question. If you don't absorb the power of creation and don't trade with Wanzhou Mountain, how do you break the limit? Asked the Fallen Heart Saint Lord. What I said before is very clear. I thought I didn't need to explain in detail. Chen Shang spread his hands and smiled slightly. Since the Fallen Heart Saint Lord hasn't understood yet, then I will say more. Just a few words. The Fallen Heart Saint Lord was a little unhappy, because Chen Shang was taunting his low understanding. Let me think about it. Not to be outdone, the Fallen Heart Saint Lord immediately began to think and understand what Chen Shang said just now. He thought about it several times, but he didn't understand anything from it. Okay, you have to explain it to me. Don't be circumspect, the Fallen Heart Saint said, although I can't comprehend it, I'm not stupid. You'd better not profuse me by talking nonsense. The Fallen Heart Lord thought that Chen Shang had no real answer, and Chen Shang just couldn't answer his question, so he avoided it with this kind of words. I said before that the power of creation does not belong to Wanzhou Mountain. Wanzhou Mountain has blocked the source of the power of creation, and Mount Wanzhou has absorbed the power of creation, and after doing tricks on the power of the world, it will be with you. You trade, Chen Shang said. This is just your hypothesis. After the Fallen Heart Lord said, he spread his hand and said, okay, as long as your hypothesis is correct, what can you do? The creation power released by Wanzhou Mountain is processed and injected with some consciousness. After entering your soul, the creation power can restrain you from fulfilling the contract, which is equivalent to signing a slave contract with you. Chen Shang continued said. The Fallen Heart Saint wanted to say something, but he didn't say it, because he somewhat recognized Chen Zhang's guess in his heart. If it is really like what Chen Shang said, then they really have lost a lot, and Wanzhou Mountain has taken a lot of advantage. Wanzhou Mountain controlled the power of creation that originally belonged to all living beings, and then through the transformation of these powers of creation, it was specially provided for the absorption of powerful creatures, and then they could obtain benefits through these creatures. The fallen heart Saint Lord really felt like a slave for so many years. Although he had a powerful force, he would always be spurred by Wanzhou Mountain to do all kinds of things. If you don't complete the task, you won't be able to obtain cultivation resources, and will eventually become others' cultivation resources. The power of creation can be absorbed, but before it can be absorbed, we need to remove the things added by Wanzhou Mountain. Chen Shang said, this will make it stronger. We have to absorb the most primitive power of creation, so that it won't controlled by Wanzhou Mountain. Chen Shang also said his own solution. Is this method feasible? How many years do you plan to complete? Fallen Heart Saint Lord shook his head and said. In his opinion, the method Chen Shang said was simply fantastic. You know, the Fallen Heart Saint Lord has a lot of creative power in his hands, and those creative powers are given to him by Wanzhou Mountain. Once he has absorbed it, he can't get rid of it. I have succeeded, Chen Shang said. You are not curious, why can I help the Creator of God to resist the red power of creation? The red power of creation once entered the body of the Sage of Creation, but it was purified by me. You, the Fallen Heart Sovereign, had imagined many possibilities before, but never thought that Chen Shang would actually purify the red power of creation. The Fallen Heart Saint Lord has faced a lot of creative power for so many years, and he has naturally studied it, and there are indeed many strange energies in the creative power. If it is true as Chen Shang guessed, the creation power they obtained through Wanzhou Mountain is problematic, then they really must become the slaves of Wanzhou Mountain. Who knows about this? The Fallen Heart Saint asked in a low voice. I, the Sage of the Heavenly Mother, the Sage of Creation, and you. Chen Shang said. Currently only the four of us know. Heavenly Mother Sages and Creation Sages, will they tell the Heavenly Sages and Lords about this matter? The Fallen Heart Sage said solemnly. They are all my good friends, and I believe they will never tell this kind of thing to the Heavenly Sage Lord. Chen Shang said. I also believe you, I will not tell this matter to the high level of Wanzhou Mountain. Quote. Chen Shang had also thought carefully before telling this secret to the Fallen Heart Saint Lord. The Fallen Heart Lord has been suppressed by the Heavenly Lord for many years. It can be seen that it is not only the Heavenly Lord that is better than him. On the other hand, it also shows that the Fallen Heart Lord is marginalized and is a discarded item. The Fallen Heart Lord has resentment towards Wanzhou Mountain, and he even wants to seal the Heavenly Sage Lord, so he is afraid of everything now. I'm not stupid. Tell the group of Wanzhou Mountain guys, what good is it for me? The Fallen Heart Saint said, are you convenient to show me a hand now? Let me see how the world's creation power is after purification. Yes. Chen Shang took out the Proud God Furnace, and said, you put a bunch of red creative power in. The Fallen Heart Saint Lord immediately took out a group of red creation power, and put it into the Proud World God Furnace, and then Chen Shang began to refine it. Holy Lord of the Fallen Heart, blood crystals like the blood crystal giant mountain are very useful to me. Can you give me more? Chen Shang and the others had dug a lot before, but for him it was not enough. Of course. The blood crystal sacred mountain has been attacked before and has been dug away a lot. You should be the one who dug it. The Fallen Heart Sage said, although that mountain is now under my management, but after I am finished, will fall into the hands of Heavenly Sage Lord. The Fallen Heart Saint Lord immediately sent someone to dig it up, and the people he sent were the sages of Yishan. Chen Shang used the time Yuanju of the 6 God Mirrors to speed up the operation of the Aoshi Shen furnace so that it could be completed quickly. He spent most of a day finally turning that group of red creation power into a small bottle of transparent liquid. This is the creation liquid. The color is generally divided into gold, white, or blue, and now Chen Shang has refined it to be transparent, which is of higher quality. Look at it. Chen Shang handed it to the Fallen Heart Saint Lord. The Fallen Heart Lord took it and saw that his heart jumped suddenly. This is indeed the power of creation, and it is extremely pure. He couldn't help but drink it, and soon felt how pure this kind of creativity is. Although it is not as good as directly absorbing the red power of creation, but fortunately this is completely pure power of creation. I guess if there is enough such pure creation power in the body, it can dilute the red creation power you previously absorbed. Chen Shang said. In this way, you can get rid of Wanzhou Mountain's control. Of course, it's just my guess. Do you like this site? Donate here. World Defying Dan God Chapter 4659, Jin Jing. After the fallen heart saint heard what Chen Shang said, an inexplicable excitement suddenly surged in his heart, because this was an opportunity to get rid of Wanzhou Mountain. But this thought was only an instant, and he was extinguished by himself. He did not dare to confront Wanzhou Mountain, worried that after being discovered by Wanzhou Mountain, he would have been taken by Wanzhou Mountain before he could escape. He has been in Wanzhou Mountain for so many years, and he knows that the end of betrayal will definitely be cultivated as a cultivation resource and absorbed by others. Although he didn't dare, he didn't stop Chen Shang from purifying the red power of creation. For him, this was also a way out. If Wanzhou Mountain really pushes him into a hurry in the future, he will be able to escape from Wanzhou Mountain by this method. How did you do it? The Fallen Heart Lord looked at Chen Zhang's Aoshi Shen furnace and said, this furnace looks very difficult. To purify this red power of creation, does it necessarily need this kind of furnace? It's not necessary. With this stove, it can speed up the progress. Chen Shang said, as for the process, it's a bit complicated. In the eyes of the Fallen Heart Saint, Chen Shang is just stuffing the red power of creation into the Aoshi Shen furnace, but inside the Aoshi Shen furnace, he has gone through many complicated steps. Afterwards, Chen Shang briefly talked about the process, and he was confused by the Fallen Heart Saint Lord. The Fallen Heart Saint originally wanted to try to learn, but later heard that Chen Shang said that it was more difficult to master than alchemy, so he gave up. In Wanzhou Mountain, alchemy is also very difficult. The Fallen Heart Saint once wanted to learn alchemy, but he didn't learn anything, and in the end he had to give up. I will arrange a comfortable environment for you, so that you can purify the red power of creation. You must promise me that you don't tell me about it. The Fallen Heart Saint said. You should be very clear, Wanzhou Mountain, this kind of thing is absolutely not allowed. If you leak this news and Wanzhou Mountain knows that I will take you in, then I will suffer too. Chen Shang also agreed to the Fallen Heart Lord, because the Fallen Heart Lord can provide him with a lot of resources, such as blood crystals, which Chen Shang really needs. The Fallen Heart Saint took Chen Shang to a golden secret room. The walls and floor were made of golden crystals. As soon as Chen Shang entered, he could feel that the golden crystal was very special. Is there any difference between these golden crystals and blood crystals? Chen Shang touched and asked. It's more advanced than the blood crystal. After the blood crystal is refined, it will be this golden crystal. Said the Fallen Heart Saint. The secret room built with gold crystals helps to absorb and fuse the power of creation. How can I get a lot of gold crystals? Chen Shang placed his hand on the golden crystal wall, and he could feel that this was the golden powder after the blood crystal was refined. If you can obtain this kind of gold crystals directly, you don't need to refining blood crystals. Refining blood crystals is still more troublesome. I can't get it, this is given to us by Wanzhou Mountain. The Fallen Heart Sacred Master shook his head and said, I also want to get a lot of gold crystals, but this kind of resource, even for Wanzhou Mountain, it is also very scarce. I can refine blood crystals into gold crystals, which is more cumbersome. Chen Shang said. This kind of gold crystals can purify the red creativity. When Chen Shang was refining the red power, he had to add that golden powder. The effect was very good. Really? The Fallen Heart Saint said in astonishment. I previously refined the red power of creation into a liquid, and added a golden powder, which was refined through blood crystals. While Chen Shang spoke, he took out a handful of golden powder and placed it in his palm. The Fallen Heart Holy Master pinched it up with his fingers, and immediately determined that this was the same thing as Jin Jing. I don't have gold crystals, but there are a lot of blood crystals. If you can refine a lot of gold crystals, it will be very helpful to me. The Fallen Heart Saint said ecstatically. How can I help? Chen Shang questioned. When absorbing the power of creation, if there are a lot of this kind of gold crystals, I can absorb it faster, and I will not fall into a state of madness. The Fallen Heart Saint said. Otherwise, every time I absorb the power of creation after that, I will go crazy for a while and destroy myself so that I don't look like people. Don't you have a Jinjing room here? Chen Shang looked around and said, is this not enough? The Jinjing in this room is my last. I can't use the Jinjing in this room. Otherwise, I won't have any Jinjing to assist me in my cultivation in the future. Competitive relations, she is much stronger than me now, so she took away my Jinjing directly. Otherwise, I will have some Jin Jing every year. Snatch it, Chen Shang asked puzzledly. Wanzhou allows. Of course Wanzhou Mountain is allowed. In short, she proved to Wanzhou Mountain that she is more worthwhile to use Jinjing than me, so Wanzhou Mountain will never give me it again. The Fallen Heart Sage sighed, even if there are a lot of them. Creation power, without the aid of Jinjing, it would be difficult to quickly absorb the power of creation. So that's it, Chen Shang also probably understands the red power of creation. So, I must prove myself that as long as the Heavenly Sage Saint Lord is sealed, Wanzhou Mountain will value me again. The Fallen Heart Saint Master looked at the golden powder in Chen Zhang's hand and gradually became excited. You think too much. Chen Shang shook his head and smiled. What do you mean? Fallen Heart Saint Lord frowned. Wanzhou Mountain's resources are allocated by humans. It means that someone should be inside and outside, and swallow the golden crystal that belongs to you. Chen Shang patted the shoulder of the Fallen Heart Saint, and comforted, the Heavenly Saint has a backing. You can't compete with her. If you really want to seal her, then you must be finished. Impossible, the Fallen Heart Sage yelled. Wanzhou Mountain's resource competition is very fair. Who will guarantee fairness? Do you know the origin of the Heavenly Sage Saint Lord? Chen Shang curled his lips and said, you are too naive. Not to mention the formation of such a huge force like Wanzhou Mountain, even some small sects, such incidents are endless. Unlucky ones should not only belong to you, but there must be others. Chen Shang continued. Sage Lord Tianxian must rely on this relationship and eat several resources. Those who are eaten up resources have no background. The face of Fallen Heart Saint Lord gradually became hard to look, and then he slammed the door and left the room. It could be seen that he somewhat believed what Chen Shang said. Because the Fallen Heart Saint knows his own situation very well. Chen Shang continued to refine the red power of creation. He didn't expect that the Fallen Heart Lord would be so stupid and believe in the so-called fair competition. The Heavenly Sage Lord obviously has the backing to get the resources of the Fallen Heart Lord, and the Fallen Heart Lord who has no resources can use it to cultivate and become stronger. It is simply impossible for him to suppress the Heavenly Sage Lord, and will only become the cultivation material of the Heavenly Sage Lord in the end. The Fallen Heart Lord was sitting alone in the hall outside. He was quiet and began to doubt life. World-Defying Dan God Chapter 4660, Chuangshuadan. Chen Shang could tell from the reaction of the Fallen Heart Saint Lord, that he could not be the opponent of the Heavenly Sage Saint Lord at all. The Heavenly Sage Saint must have been eyeing the Fallen Heart Saint Lord, and have weakened the Fallen Heart Saint Lord a little over the years. As long as the time is right, she will definitely take a decisive action against the Fallen Heart Saint Lord. So for the Fallen Heart Saint Lord, he had better not think about sealing the Heavenly Sage Saint Lord now, but prepare to escape. Brother, Fallen Heart Saint Lord looks so enchanting, but I didn't expect it to be a fool. Sister Xiao Jing said. At his level, it won't take long for the Heavenly Sage Saint Lord to play to death. So I have to hurry to get more blood crystals. Chen Shang said. How long does the ghost know that the Fallen Heart Saint Lord can resist? The Fallen Heart Saint was sitting outside in a daze. Thinking back to Chen Zhang's words, he now gradually realized that his situation was very bad. If the Heavenly Sage Lord really has a strong backing, then he will be killed by the Heavenly Sage Lord sooner or later. The Fallen Heart Lord looked at the door of Chen Zhang's room, then came outside and asked, Chen Shang, what should I do now? In the eyes of the Fallen Heart Saint Lord, Chen Shang is also considered an expert, so his tone is quite low now. Watch the changes, Chen Shang said. Sage Master Tianxian can do anything to you at any time. With her ability, it is easy to take you down, but she hasn't taken any action for a long time, which shows that she also has concerns. What worries can she have? When she took away the resources that belong to me, she didn't have any worries at all. The Fallen Heart Lord thought of this, and suddenly became angry. You are a holy lord anyway. She can't mess around, Chen Shang said. In Wanzhou Mountain, the Holy Lord should also be the backbone of Wanzhou Mountain. She is waiting for an opportunity and can justly kill you. Although the status of the Fallen Heart Saint Lord is not particularly high, the Tianxian Saint Lord does not dare to blatantly kill him. If other Saint Lords know about it, they will definitely panic because of this, which will affect the stability of Wanzhou Mountain. Chen Shang analyzed it, and the Fallen Heart Saint also felt that it made sense. So you'd better not do anything now, Chen Shang said. You were thinking about sealing the Heavenly Sage Saint Lord before. If you do, then she will be able to counter you as a matter of course. The Fallen Heart Sacred Lord shuddered. She is sure I will shoot her? Asked the Fallen Heart Saint Lord. You have been forced into a desperate situation, and it will be a matter of time beforehand. Chen Shang said. Moreover, she might deliberately release news to make you think that she was seriously injured or suddenly became weak, leading you to take action. Chen Shang was assuming that he was the Heavenly Sage Lord, and made some guesses. I rarely meet with her, and have no contact. How can she convince me that she is injured and in a period of weakness? The Fallen Heart asked. It depends on the sages of Yishan. If they are the people of the Sage of the Heavens, and you don't know that they are undercover, then they will definitely mislead you and provide you with some information to make you think of the Sage of the Heavens. Injured, Chen Shang said. These guys, if they really do this, I will definitely get rid of them right away. The Fallen Heart Sacred Master clenched his fists and cursed, these bastards. The Fallen Heart Lord no longer disturbed Chen Shang, and came to the outermost hall, where he waited for the Sage Yishan and the others to return. The Sage Yishan and the others were arranged by the Fallen Heart Saint Lord to dig out the blood crystals, and the Fallen Heart Saint Lord did not send anyone to monitor them. He thought about it in accordance with Chen Zhang's thoughts, and thought that the Heavenly Sage Lord and the others were going out. Maybe it was just to contact the Heavenly Sage Lord and the others. The Fallen Heart Sage sat quietly for a while and calmed down a lot. He began to wonder if Chen Shang said these words deliberately, which caused him anxiety, and then used his hand to kill the Sage Yishan and the others. After all, Chen Shang and the Sage of Yishan have enemies, so the Fallen Heart Sage will have this idea. Chen Shang refines the red power of creation in the room, and now he is more and more familiar with it. He also took advantage of Fang Qing to contact Kalian and communicate with Kalian. Fang Qing helps deliver and receive news, so these important things will be known to her, but fortunately, she is trustworthy and is a clone of Kalian, so Chen Shang and Kalian are not worried about leaking the news. In this way, Chen Shang got some useful news from the materials through Fang Qing. Sage Lord Tianxian is indeed a person with a lot of background, not an ordinary lord. Moreover, Sage Yishan and Sage of Heaven Punishment and others are all undercovers of Sage Lord of Heaven. She arranges this group of people in Sage of Fallen Heart. The Lord's side is for the Saint Lord of the Fallen Heart. As for the plan of the Heavenly Sage Lord, Kalian didn't know, only that the Heavenly Sage Lord had done a person called the Fallen Heart Lord. Kalian also said that the Heavenly Sage Lord will let her and the Chuangdao sages get along well with the Yishan sages in the future. Neither Kalian nor Chuangdao sages could accept this, and they only agreed on the surface. Chen Shang felt more and more that the Heavenly Sage Lord was very dangerous, and the presence of Kalian and Chuangdao sages by the woman's side made him extremely worried. Kalian also inquired about something about the fate of the universe. She has a part of the fate of the universe, which is located in Wanzhou Mountain. As for where it is, the Heavenly Sage Lord doesn't know. The Holy Master Tianxian told Kalian to stop thinking about retrieving the cosmic fate, and said that the cosmic fate is the most evil thing. She also said that it was the power of Wanzhou Mountain who helped Kalian at the beginning to help her separate the cosmic fate, otherwise she would be swallowed by the cosmic fate. Chen Shang didn't believe in this kind of nonsense, and Kalian didn't believe it either. She also felt that the destiny of the universe was taken away as the conspiracy of Wanzhou Mountain. Kalian didn't know that Chen Shang had entered Wanzhou Mountain, nor did Chen Shang tell her, lest she be worried. After Chen Shang had contacted Kalian, he felt a little anxious, because the Heavenly Sage Saint Lord would take the initiative to the Fallen Heart Saint at any time. If the Fallen Heart Sage Lord falls, he will not be able to hang around in Wanzhou Mountain. When the time comes, the Sage Yishan will definitely try to catch him. It's about to condense pill soon. This place is rich in resources, and it can suppress the power of creation. It is an excellent alchemy room for refining the power of creation. Chen Shang looked at the surrounding golden crystal walls and said with emotion. He refined a lot of red creation power, condensed into a lot of creation ***** liquid, and the current quality is enough to condense pill. What will happen to Chuangxili condensing pill? Chen Shang is also looking forward to the moment of condensing pill. In his vision, condensing pill is only the first step. He wants to condense the power of creation into the soul of life, and construct the principles of practice regarding the soul sea in the arrogant universe. As long as there are relevant principles of practice, then the creatures in the Aoshi universe will have no restrictions on the cultivation of the soul sea.